While Yunwoo was taken down by several people, he secretly wrote down the place. Gradually, the more she walked, the colder she felt. The cold wind was piercing and the moist feeling made Yunwoo tremble. She looked at the place she was led to. You may not know what's down there yet. Shangwenshong walked in front without looking back, but said faintly that layers of torches were lit, leading to the endless darkness underground. Cloud Dance did not reply, but not long, but heard from the ground bursts of fierce calls. This kind of sound makes Yunwoo frown. Before entering, there was a pungent smell of putrefaction coming from the underground. Shangwenshong turned his head, glanced at Yunwoo, and went on. Push open a cell door. Shangwenshong orders people to drag Yunwoo in and tie it to the pillar in the center of the cell. The pillar is very thick, and the Cloud Dance is tied on it in a big shape. The whole body is exposed in front of Shangwenshong. Shangwenshong walked slowly to Yunwoo, looked at Yunwoo with his head down and said nothing, and sneered twice. Are you still not going to say it? You know, this is the place where the punishment is the heaviest. Yunwoo raised her eyes and looked at Shangwenshong with a smile. Shangwenshong's face was very gloomy at this time. He didn't expect that Cloud Dance was so difficult. He gave a cold hum and nodded to the people around him. I saw the people around me take out a whip from the cabinet next to me. On the whip, there are other people's blood. Pa of a crisp ring, Cloud Dance inverted took a cold breath, looked down, the body has appeared a long blood, from the clothes inside soaked out. I have only one question today. If you answer it, you can have a good sleep tonight. If you don't, there are countless people here who can interrogate you in shifts. We have many ways to force you to say the answer to this question. A man in black sat at his side, then raised the whip and hit Yunwoo. Suddenly, a blood stain appeared on Yunwoo again. Yunwoo tightly pursed her mouth and no longer made any sound. She only occasionally snorted with pain. Her body was full of bloodstains and fiery pain. She closed her eyes tightly and panted quickly. Her clothes were soaked with blood. The man in black didn't have the slightest pity. His eyes were full of ridicule and indifference. The whip was in his hand and said hello to Yunwoo. Suddenly, his clothes were also broken. Yunwoo almost couldn't breathe because of the pain. She bit her lips and didn't make any sound, because these crazy people were happy to ask for mercy. After almost being hanged for a long time, Yunwoo felt that his eyes were black and dizzy, and he couldn't see Shangwenshong clearly. Where are the sacred things of the witch family? A man in black said that he raised his hand and hit Yunwoo with a whip, which made Yunwoo shiver and numb. She gave a miserable smile. Even if she really wanted to say it, she had no strength. Shangwenshong was very clear. He raised his hand to let the man in black come back. He was covered with blood, and the dying clouds were dancing. He said, "We are tired too. Let's go back to have a rest and continue tomorrow." Therefore, the Cloud Dance's side momentarily returns to calm. She called softly, and the whole dungeon echoed everywhere. She let out a breath. A cold white breath came out of her mouth and disappeared into the darkness. She gave a wry smile. The pain on her body had numbed her a little. Looking around the dungeon where she was bound, there were similar cells in front of her. It was dark. Unlike the place where she had just started, there was still daylight. Now it was only cold and dark. She bowed her head and felt that although she was sleepy, the pain on her body made her unable to sleep. She moved her body hard, but found that the shackles of their own chain, close the more tight, she showed some pain in the feint, had to give up the struggle. But what she worries about most now is the friends and teams who have made an appointment to meet at the entrance of the human world. Now they are all lost. She worries about what's wrong with them. She also worries that they will rush into the human world before the big army finds out that some of them have disappeared. Especially Long Qingxia. If he knew his own situation, he would search for himself regardless of his own safety. Helpless vomit tone, shake head, secretly laugh at oneself, how now sentimental up. So think, eyes firm up again, a cold smile, no matter how to say, certainly can't be indecisive here. First, how to get out of here. Yunwoo closed his eyes and looked around his body. Most of the injuries were internal injuries, but only the one hit by Shangwenshong just now. Rush to pour the fighting qi into the damaged meridians and repair them quietly. If you follow the current situation, even if you have the opportunity to leave, you can't leave safely. In this way, one night, cold underground, Cloud quietly healing, do not want anything. Until the next morning, just opened his eyes, Yunwoo saw Shangwen's Hong and his men coming slowly not far ahead. With a squeak, the heavy wooden door was opened, and Shangwen's Hong came in slowly. Looking at Yunwoo with a sneer in his eyes, his voice was cold. How? Do you want to say something? At this time, Yunwoo's internal injury was better, and his strength was a little strong. He raised his head to look at Shangwen's Hong, and raised his mouth slightly. That's nature. 4 words just finished, Shangwen's Hong's eyes obviously lit up, impatient into a few steps, close to Yunwoo, hurried way. Quick, where? Come closer, I'll tell you. Cloud dance evil smile, mysterious say. Shangwen's Hong had been worried about this for a long time. He came close and looked at Yunwoo. His eyes were shining. Speak quickly. Yunwoo nodded with a smile, lowered his head, approached Shangwen's Hong's ear, and said in a low voice, When I first came to the human world, I once escaped your surveillance and hid in a forest in the human world. Shangwen's Hong's breathing was suddenly rapid, and his eyes became eager when he looked at Yunwoo. Come on, where is the specific place? Shangwen's Hong took a step closer and looked at the clouds in front of him without blinking. I think you should know that you saw me in the forest. Cloud danced close to her ear, appear serious. I also and your people there fight. Shangwen's Hong narrowed his eyes and nodded. At that time, I was under a tree and put down the sacred things of the witch clan. Yunwoo sneered coldly, with sarcasm in his tone. I knew you would catch me. You thought I would be so stupid, waiting for you to find the holy things of the witch family on me. Shangwen's Hong mouth hook suddenly raised his hand to hold Yunwoo chin, will her head up, you'd better not cheat me. Then he took people out of the dungeon. Cloud Dance looked at Shangwen's Hong left back, vomited a breath, thought that finally to fool away. Suddenly I saw 3 men in black coming in outside the door. They untied her from the post and took her out. Where is this going? Cloud Dance asked. The man in black did not speak, but walked forward in silence. Yunwoo looked down and thought for a while, looked at the people around him, and felt as if there was no threat. He suddenly poured his fighting spirit into his feet and kicked a man in black around him. Sure enough, before the man in black could react, she was kicked away. She threw away another man in black with her backhand, knocked him unconscious with a knife, and ran to the front. The woman ran away. There was a man in black shouting. Suddenly, the whole dungeon was noisy. It seems that all the guards in the dungeon have been informed. Slowly, the whole dungeon is full of people. Cloud Dance pursed her lips, and her face was cold. Now she wanted to rush out, but she didn't care. The man in black blocked the narrow path. But she turned her head and looked behind her. It was all people. Now she had to break through, though she didn't know where she was going. He hit the man in black in front of him, and suddenly he fell down. It's really vulnerable. Yunwoo thought that the people here are all at this level, and continued to fly forward. Seeing another intersection in front of him, the cloud danced like a headless fly and ran on. Suddenly, a cold voice came from behind, You dare to cheat me. As soon as Yunwoo's heart sank, he was ready to turn back. He felt a huge amount of energy behind him. In an instant, he attacked himself and quickly turned around to clap his hand over there. But he saw that Shangwen's Hong turned back in front of him. He was shocked and stepped back 2 steps. Before he could stand still, Shangwen's Hong clapped his hand again. Yunwoo had no choice but to take a hard slap and fly backward in an instant. In front of a flower, Yunwoo took a cool breath, but he felt as if he had suddenly fallen into a hole and kept falling. In this way, I don't know how long it took before Cloud Dance finally fell to the ground. Fall of the moment, suddenly see not far away in the shadow of a familiar figure. Snow Silver? Cloud Dance carefully sound, looking at the shadow hidden in the dark, some can't believe it. The figure obviously moved for a moment and looked up in the direction of Cloud Dance. One stands in the dark and the other stands in the light. Xuan can clearly see the figure of Yunwoo, but Yunwoo can't see the expression on Xuan's face. He just roughly sees an outline and guesses his action. Now Xuan looks to himself. When his eyes fall on him, Yunwoo is sure that this man is Xuan. "You are Lady Snow Silver's voice trembled a little. Just after saying this sentence, she said, "No, you are Cloud Dance." Yunwoo nodded, thinking that Xuan could distinguish herself from Lin Yuntong. Then Snow Silver's figure came out from the darkness. I don't know if it was because he had been locked up here for a long time and no one was there. Now he was inexplicably close to one, or because he was worried about something he had told. Why are you back? Did you come back for me on purpose?" Snow Silver's eyes twinkle with brilliant light, looking forward to the clouds. He even looked behind Yunwoo, trying to find Lin Yuntong's figure. Yunwoo scratched his head and said, "Well, I'm so sorry Snow Silver Aleng, this just discover Cloud Dance of the body with all kinds of scars. The clothes on the body also damaged a lot." When Snow Silver blurt out of the mouth asked, "You are captured by the Beast Gate." Cloud Dance mouth corners smoked to smoke, what to call again? Why does it sound like she's always being caught? It's just the second time, okay. The second time. It's just that I happen to meet Xuan twice at the moment. Cloud Dance has not had time to say anything, just to see Snow Silver's shining eyes have been dim. "It seems that you are not going well outside at all." Snow Silver lowered her eyes and said, in the heart extremely worried about his wife, only saw the Cloud Dance this appearance. He also knew that he was some strong person difficult. The world is big, who knows where his wife has gone. Yunwoo coughed and said, "Actually it's not going well, but there's hope." Xuan gave a bitter smile, shook her head and said, "Don't comfort me. I've been trapped here for so long. I don't know if I can see her again. Let's not say whether we can find it or not. Even if we find it, maybe she has married someone else. I'd rather she forgot that I was with someone else than suffer from this lovesickness with me." Snow Silver seems to be sad, slowly turned to the dark place. Cloud Dance put away the idea of joking, and her face became serious. "I don't know why. This time I see Xuan, I always feel that something is wrong with him. The last time I saw him, although Xuan had been imprisoned for a long time, his expression and words were full of innocence and liveliness. He didn't give up any hope and looked energetic. But now Snow Silver seems to have matured a lot, and the faint light around him doesn't know whether it has been restrained by him or disappeared for some reason. This leads to Yunwoo not sure whether it is Snow Silver in the dark before. "Your wife has been found," Cloud Dance said seriously. Xuan's body was stunned. She quickly turned around and came back to Yunwoo. Her excited hands held Yunwoo's shoulder, and her face was full of surprise. "What do you say? Did you find her? Did you really find it?" Yunwoo was dazed by the shaking. Originally, she was tortured a lot. Now how can she endure this kind of devastation? She immediately said, "Okay, don't shake anymore. Listen to me first." Xuan realized that she was a little too excited. She released her hand and looked at Yunwoo with some anxieties, waiting for her accurate reply. Yunwoo rubbed the pinched shoulder and said, "The Blood Corpse clan has been destroyed. I saved your wife there. She was identified as the heir of the Blood Corpse clan, so she was not harmed, and has finally been restored to humanity. It's just that the strength hasn't recovered yet, but sooner or later." Snow Silver eyes are bright, can't wait to ask, "Then where is she now? Can I see her? Why don't you bring her here?" Cloud Dance looked at Snow Silver like an idiot. "Do you want to see her? Are you going out or are you going to let her in?" Snow Silver Aleng, immediately speechless. "Now the place where I am is full of seals. It's easy to come in but hard to go out. I'm afraid that only Yunwoo and the man around her can go out, right? Don't worry. Since I have rescued her, I won't cheat you." Cloud Dance see Snow Silver don't trust, then open mouth to say, "Just you also want to be ready to leave here. If you want to see her, you have to leave." Xuan nodded and said, "Okay, as long as I see her, I will give you what I promised." Cloud Dance Aleng can't help shaking his head, has no use. "Why?" Snow Silver doubts of ask away. Until then, Yunwoo felt that although Xuan had matured a lot, the puzzled expression was still the same as that of that year. If you want to break the defense of the beast gate, those things are doomed to be unable to collect, so it's useless for you to give them to me. Cloud Dance Helpless said. How? Shui Yin frowned and asked, have other things been captured by others? Or did it fall into the hands of the beast gate? Don't you just grab it back? Anyway, your strength is so strong. No. Cloud Dance Helpless smile, and then Will Sheeting Things told him. When all was finished, Shuin was silent. What are you going to do with the beast gate now? Snow Silver asked seriously. Gather the strength of all and fight together. Cloud Dance says coldly. Although I don't know how many people have said this to me, I still feel lost when I say it again. All the previous efforts were in vain. In the end, there is only one way that may not succeed. Are you crazy? Shuin was shocked and said, is the beast gate so easy to deal with? Even if you gather all your strength, this is the upper bound. Even the whole human race may not be able to succeed. I know. Cloud Dance seriously replied, it seems that he doesn't pay attention to the difficulties he faces at all, but this is the only way. For example, I can't kill my partner in order to deal with the beast gate. What's more, we don't have no chance of winning. How do you say that? Snow Silver asked with a frown. In addition to human beings, I have also united with other races, such as Phoenix, Dragon, Fire Beast, and so on. It's not only the human world, but also other worlds to deal with the beast gate. There are many evils committed by the beast gate. There are many forces that want to destroy them. As long as these forces are gathered together, they will succeed. Snow Silver's eyes flashed, looked down at Yunwu's serious appearance, and realized that she was not joking at all. In the Heart thought carefully for a while, suddenly chuckled. Yes, it will always succeed. Snow Silver Light said, the line of sight fell behind the Cloud Dance. Don't know what to look at, I also want to give you a force. Cloud Dance looked at him suspiciously. Since you want to, you can join us naturally, we are welcome at any time. Shui Yin shook her head and said, do you know what my Numenon is? Numenon. Cloud Dance a Leng, or energy stone? Poof. Shuain chuckled, how can you compare me with those things? Can those inferior things compare with me? Cloud Dance stretched out her hand to scratch her head and asked seriously, what are you? Snow Silver haughtily turned her head, snorted and said, I tell you, my Numenon is energy snow stone. Cloud Dance mouth corner smoked to smoke, ask, have difference. Why not? Those energy stones you mentioned are the most basic energy stones. As long as they contain a little energy to help others practice, they can be called energy stones, but I'm different. Snow Silver said with pride. Do you have more energy? Can help a lot of people practice, Cloud Dance asked. It can be said that. Snow Silver said, my Numenon is an energy snow stone, and it is enough to turn into a human form. The lowest energy stone can help others to practice, which contains powerful power. The higher one can have spirituality, can hide and not be found by others, and can be used to refine. The higher one is able to transform into a spirit body, and finally have a real body. And some energy stones can become animals and birds. Only the energy stones deposited over the years can have their own consciousness and become highly intelligent human beings. Yunwu nodded. She knew that Shuain's identity was unusual, but she didn't expect it to be so unusual. I wasn't here. Snow Silver said, my spirit body is an energy snow stone, but one day I don't know how to get here, sealed up, and can't leave anymore. I only know that the base of the beast gate is above me, and I don't know anything else. I'm an energy snow stone, so I can stay here without eating or drinking. Then why does the beast gate want you to stay here? Cloud Dance asked suspiciously, is it just because you are a rare energy snow stone? Don't you understand? Snow Silver laughed at himself. The base of the beast gate is so huge that it is destined to need energy supply, and I am the best choice. Cloud Dance shocked open eyes, can't believe looking at Snow Silver said, what do you say? You exist to provide energy for the gate of beasts? Shuain nodded and said, so, I have been here since the base of one human was built. That's why I can't leave it forever. Do you think the beast gate will rest assured to let me leave? Cloud Dance is silent. If it is such an important existence, it is very difficult to take Snow Silver away. What's more, at present, there is really no way. I'm glad that you can deal with the Beast Gate, but I'm doomed not to join you. Snow Silver frowned and a touch of pain flashed in her eyes. I'm different from my wife because of the Beast Gate, but now I'm still providing energy for the Beast Gate and the whole base. It's like I'm helping the enemy to harm my family and watching the Beast Gate go out to do evil. From just now on, Xuan has a bold idea in her heart. Since she can't join them to deal with the Beast Gate, she won't continue to help the Beast Gate to provide energy. At first, she was caught here by the Beast Gate. Xuan always wanted to see her mother again one day and save her from the blood corpse. But up to now, this wish is still not achieved. But he believed in Yunwu. Since she said that the lady was okay, he could rest assured that it would not be dangerous for her to follow Yunwu in the future. Don't be upset. I'll find a way to help you leave. Cloud Dance said seriously. It's too late. Snow Silver shook his head. These days I can provide less and less power, and my own power is not much. I believe that it won't be long before the Beast Gate will find out and go to find new energy snow stones. Yunwu finally understood why Xuan became so weak. It was this reason. But I'm not willing to be used by the Beast Gate. Snow Silver Pain said, So, you kill me. Cloud Dance looked at him with wide eyes. What do you say? Xuan took a deep breath, turned his head and looked at Yunwu seriously. I said, let you kill me. I provide the energy for the one human base. As long as you kill me, it is doomed to be a powerful disaster for one human. When the border is broken, you can leave one human. No. Cloud Dance coldly said, don't want to refuse him. Even if I don't kill you, I can get out of here, and I can deal with the Beast Gate. If the price of dealing with the Beast Gate is to harm the people around me, why should I deal with them? Xuan shook her head with a bitter smile and said, I can't wait for you to find a way. Before I disappear completely, it's a pleasure to be able to do my best to help you. The only thing I can't let go of is my wife, who needs more care from you in the future. Snow Silver. Cloud Dance Cold Drink. I tell you, don't tell me what happened. I said I won't kill you, but I won't. It's everyone's business to deal with the Beast Gate, not your own sacrifice. Yunwu's face was serious, even cold, and he looked at Xuan as if he was very angry. He wanted Xuan to take back his words immediately. Clinker's Snow Silver Lung eyes in Yunwu's face for a moment, finally mouth moved, but did not say anything, just with a wry smile, head down, helplessly shook his head. Cloud Dance frowned. What do you mean? Snow Silver chuckled and said, there is no time. I know that the power of the Beast Gate is growing, so the energy needed for his base is also growing. It won't be long before it's even harder to deal with. Yunwu was silent and didn't speak. Although she knew what Xuan said was true, she wouldn't do it anyway. What about the difficulties? No matter how difficult it is, she will try to beat them. Snow Silver will Cloud Dance look in the eyes, know that no matter what you say is useless, so sighed, said, well, since you don't want to be like this, then I don't ask. After Xuan said this, Yunwu didn't feel relaxed at all. Instead, she stared at Xuan as if to see the flaw in his face. Snow Silver Mouth a Hook said, do you know how to leave here? Cloud Dance shook his head. How to leave? The border here is set by Shangguanzhong and other experts in the Beast Gate. Ordinary people can't open it at all. Unless you know a specific way to remove the array from Shangguanzhong, or find a person who is very familiar with the array. In addition, there is an extreme way. Xuan looked at the Cloud Dance and said, you have a right saying. As long as the strength is strong enough, nothing can't be broken. So is the border. I don't have any way to improve your strength in a short time, and my own strength is not enough to destroy the border, but I have another way. What can I do? Cloud Dance asked. Xuan looks at Yunwu with a smile and doesn't speak. Cloud Dance's doubt. See, Snow Silver has no light body suddenly again sent out light. The next moment, the dazzling light instantly lit up the whole border. Yunwu understood what Xuan said. Blow yourself up. Snow Silver, you are crazy. Stop Cloud Dance roars, want to come forward to stop, but in the face of self-explosion, she is helpless. In fact, Yunwoo knows very well that once the explosion starts, no matter how powerful the people around him are, they can't be stopped unless he gives up. If he gives up, the final result is that he loses all his power. Xueyin is an energy snowstone. If he gives up self-explosion at this time, he is still dead. Snow Silver Smile was a group of dazzling light, but not because he is about to leave and have the slightest fear. Yunwoo, please take care of her. If you are defeated by the Beast Gate, tell her that I will wait for her and reincarnate with her. This drop of snow mountain is my origin. Now I'll give it to you. I hope you can help me to wipe out the Beast Gate as soon as possible and take revenge for me. Snow Silver gradually becomes transparent in the body, transparent as if the water drops in general things flying towards the cloud, finally stopped in front of the cloud, quietly suspended. Boom dash, a huge explosion rang through the whole border. Snow Silver's body also disappeared, separated. A force will be wrapped in the cloud, and then in the explosion, the whole border will also shake up. Cloud Dance was wrapped by the power, quickly reached out to catch the drops of the snow mountain, slowly wrapped by the power, and went towards the border. Finally, the border is completely broken. Then, the entire Beast Gate base can no longer receive new energy. Cloud Dance turned to see the position before Snow Silver, and found that he could not be seen at all. At this time, Yunwoo suddenly felt that the people of Wanwoman were coming here from a distance. Everyone's breath was very strong. Yunwoo bit his lips and turned away from here. Shangwenshong took people to the ground quickly, but the scene in front of him made his eyes red and angry. Before the meeting, the ground was covered with rubble, filled with smoke, dusty and dark, but in front of him, he saw that most of the ground had collapsed and was dark. At this time, the ground is still a little trembling, dust debris fell on their own head, only the shadow of Snow and Silver disappeared, also disappeared the shadow of clouds. Sure enough, these two are not fuel-efficient lamps. Shangwenshong gritted his teeth and walked towards the inside. However, the more he went inside, the more angry Shangwenshong was, the more trembling he was. All the stones on the ground trembled slightly because of his anger. Some small stones had gradually floated. His eyes were red, and his appearance was very frightening. He stood quietly on the ground, covered with the intention of killing, so that his clothes were windless, and the black air overflowed from himself, and his appearance was very ferocious. And the people around him were so scared that they almost fell on their knees and shivered in front of Shangwenshong. What are you doing in a daze? Why don't you chase me as soon as possible? Shangwenshong angrily looks at the man in black around him. If you don't get her back today, you'll all die. But the man in black around him was still very scared. He stood up and said yes. But he was scared by Shangwenshong and couldn't walk at all. He moved slowly. Shangwenshong was very angry when he saw that his subordinates were behaving like this. His eyes were red as if he was bloodthirsty. He suddenly raised his hand and pulled down one of his hands in front of him. He pinched his neck. The rest of the people did not dare to hesitate anymore and ran out in a hurry. Separate a part of people, go elsewhere and find me a new energy stone. Shangwenshong shouts. He looks at everything around him in shock. It seems that there has been an explosion and half of the wall has almost collapsed. He almost buried this place. If the explosion is bigger, the whole base may have been destroyed. Shangwenshong took a deep breath and calmed his anger, but he didn't see Yunwoo for a moment. Don't let him have so many troubles. At this time, Shangwenshong just wanted to kill Yunwoo. All the people around him have gone away. Shangwenshong looks around to make sure that Xueyin is no longer there. Swing your sleeve and head for the exit. This time she must die. Looking at the darkness in front of him, Shangwenshong clenched his fist. Yunwoo turned his head and looked behind him. Most of the base of one human has been destroyed, but out of this valley, there are still long mountains ahead. The pursuers of the Beast Gate must be catching up soon. Cloud Dance narrowed her eyes and decided to flee quickly now. On the one hand, it is urgent to find partners to discuss the next thing. On the other hand, it is also necessary to escape from the chase of the Beast Gate. However, there are too many people in the Beast Gate. Before Yunwoo takes 2 steps, he meets the patrol team in front of him. Between the patrol teams, they will never exceed 500 meters. In this way, he can almost rush to the other team to support him in the moment of danger. So, now this kind of situation is really very dangerous. Cloud Dance is very careful to hold his breath, thinking that do not disturb any of the teams. So Yunwoo hid behind a big stone for a long time until the 2 teams in front passed by. For a long time, I didn't see any other team coming from here, so I vomited, came out from behind the stone and ran towards the forest. The speed of Cloud Dance is very fast this time. It's not long before it's out of the distance. Looking back, 1 human base has become unimportant. However, 100 li radius, no, 1,000 li radius, is the range of the Beast Gate. Any place, as long as Cloud Dance uses Mount or summons Beast, can be quickly found. This makes Cloud Dance very distressed and continues to gallop forward, not daring to stay at all. However, if you don't ask for trouble, trouble will still ask for you. Before long, Yunwoo saw a group of people in black in the forest in front of him. The team was small, 10, and was patrolling the forest. But not far from these people, there must be at least 4 teams around them, for fear that any team would be different. Yunwoo frowned and lowered her head to think about it carefully. Now she must think of a perfect way to wipe out the team of people in black in front of her. But 10 people, even if she sacrificed the ancient sword, could not kill them all in an instant. Any one of them could attract the attention of the rest of the team. In the forest, the atmosphere was very heavy. Yunwoo lowered her head, took a deep breath, leaned over, and quietly walked from the low grass towards the direction of the Beast Gate team. She wanted to go around to the back of these people, and then suddenly attacked them. In front of the 10,000 Beast Gate team, very careful, must be the base of the news has been passed to them, now they are also highly nervous. Suddenly, there was a commotion in the grass in front of them. All the people in the team were startled and ran towards the direction of the sound in front of them. They turned over the grass carefully, but they didn't see anything. 10 people's faces became colder and colder. One of them was ready to inform the other team to come. All of a sudden, a rabbit in the grass came out bouncing, turned his head and looked at 10 people, as if he were watching a joke. With banter, he hopped away towards the woods. 10 people are very angry, curse a few, continue to search. The cloud dances the corner of the mouth to stir up smile. In the hand already many 5 or 6 stones, threw toward all around. Suddenly, 5 or 6 voices sounded from all directions, which scared the 10 people in front of them. They gathered together, and no one dared to walk in the direction of the voice. "Captain, go and have a look." "What's the matter?" "But it could be a rabbit again." "Not so many rabbits." "Go and have a look." It's said that those who escaped are very powerful. 10 people were pushing and shoving, but no one dared to come near. Cloud Dance is not urgent, throw out a few stones. After a while, one of them suggested, "Let's work in pairs and go to the places where there are voices. If there is any situation, we will shout for help. Anyway, there are other teams and people from our team." All agreed. So, 10 people divided into 5 groups, moving carefully in all directions. Yunwoo nodded. He was really obedient, so he suddenly disappeared and walked quietly towards the 2 people in front of him. In his hand, he was surprised to find the vines everywhere. Towards one of the people's neck hard cut down, that person has not yet reacted, has been soft to the ground, the people around have not had time to react, has been Cloud Dance from behind, fiercely put the leg on the person's back, tried to straighten forward. The man rolled his eyes and pushed his legs hard, but he couldn't push the people behind him. He wanted to turn his head, but he couldn't help it. After a while, the man in black in Yunwoo's hands had lost his breath. Put the person on the ground and Yunwoo shakes his sore hand. After all, this man is an adult man, and the weight is difficult for him. Put the 2 people in front of you in the grass and stand up. A gust of wind came and there was no trace. That's it. Cloud Dance smile, continue to walk toward the other side of the people. The other 2 seemed very alert. They heard the rustling grass dancing behind them and turned quickly. But Yunwoo is invisible. It seems that their level can't be found at all, so they turn around and continue to look for it. But just as they look down, the vine in Yunwoo's hand suddenly twines around their necks and drags them to the tree behind them. Then they hide behind the tree and twinkle two people in the tree. After a while, the two men also died. Cloud Dance vomited breath, thought should be almost, at least in front of can quietly leave. So he took off the clothes of a man in black, put them on his body, showed his figure and walked in a direction. Tell Lord Shangwenzhong that a member of a small team has been assassinated. Listening to the reports from the people below, Shangwenzhong's face was gloomy to the extreme. He held his hands tightly, and his murderous spirit had made his subordinates tremble. He spat out a few words, but he was cold to the extreme. I want you to be useless. The man in front of him had not had time to beg for mercy. His panic expression just appeared on his face. Suddenly, his mouth gushed blood, his eyes turned, and he died suddenly. Shangwenzhong hit the stone wall with a return fist, and suddenly made a big hole in the stone wall. The whole cave was filled with smoke and dust. You guys follow me? Said with a few people toward the outside. I really underestimate Cloud Dance. If there are small characters in front of her, Yunwoo doesn't know that Shangwenzhong is on the way to kill her. Danger is drawing near. Yunwoo wears the clothes of a man in black and goes straight ahead. She doesn't know where the front is and what kind of person she will meet. But she knows that she must run away from here. Now this kind of feeling is too bad. There is a kind of uneasy feeling in Yunwoo's heart. The clothes of the Beast Gate were not conspicuous in the scattered search team just now. At this time, she quietly passed by the two people in black who were checking the grass. The two people were still saying hello to her. You don't have any problems there? Yes, why are you alone? The man around him was very confused and went to Yunwoo. Cloud Dance's heart is very nervous. She can't use her own ancient martial arts sword, had to clench hands to solve the 4 human life vines. The vines were hidden in the wide sleeves of black clothes and could not be seen. Yes, which way are you going? The man in black came to Yunwoo and asked, but seeing that Yunwoo didn't speak, his face suddenly changed. Do you know what happened over there? Someone's been in trouble? Before he finished, Yunwoo didn't say a word, just nodded and pointed in one direction. The two men in black, dark and dignified, ran away towards the direction of Cloud dancing in front of them. Cloud Dance heart sneer, really enough stupid, quickly toward the front to continue to walk quickly. But further on, Yunwoo's face became dignified. Because in front of him, there were about 20 people from the Beast Gate. They were divided into 2 teams, one left and one right, and they came towards this side almost at the same time. And Cloud Dance at this time, alone, wearing black clothes, in a piece of green is very conspicuous. So those people soon found the existence of Cloud Dance, and someone yelled, "Who are the people over there? Why are you standing there?" Yunwoo held her breath. She made all the preparations and stood quietly in front of about 20 people. She was waiting for the people in front of her. She hoped that the people in front of her would not come, but this might not happen. 2 teams of people in black came to this side very alert and asked, "Which team are you from? What about your team?" Yunwoo didn't dare to talk, clenched his fist and lowered his head. If I ask you something, why don't I talk? Words have not yet fallen, but the man in black saw just in front of the solitary man in black, suddenly lost sight. His face suddenly faded. Cloud Dance suddenly concealed body shape, toward the person in front of fast and go, a punch, toward the nose of the man in black. Suddenly, the nose of the man in black was bleeding. He covered his nose, but could not find who it was. He was angry, but suddenly felt a very strong and huge pressure, which made him pale. He already felt that Shangwenzhong was coming. I only heard a burst of cold laughter in the forest. The cold laughter, like a cold blade, quickly penetrated into everyone's heart. Of course, it also penetrated into Cloud Dancing's heart. Yunwoo's brows are tight and his heart is slightly heavy. It seems that he can't escape this time, so Yunwoo sacrifices his sword in stealth and is ready to wait for the appearance of Shangwenzhong in front of him. But Shangwenzhong didn't show up. Yunwoo thought for a moment, so he decided to go first, So without saying a word, he continued to run forward on tiptoe. But not far away, she felt a huge pressure behind her, which made her face pale. She turned and waved. She could only choose to fight face to face with Shangwenzhong. As expected, Yunwu was beaten back a few steps, forced to show his body, just fell in the middle of a group of people. This group of people, suddenly in an uproar, are very excited towards Yunwu around. Yunwu was beaten by Shangwenzhong. Her face turned pale and her mouth overflowed with blood. She wiped it off with her hand, but the blood came out again. She gritted her teeth and swallowed the bloody smell. In the twinkling of an eye, he saw the Shangwenzhong in front of him galloping towards him, and in an instant he had reached a place not far in front of him. In the heart tiny dun, the cloud dance suddenly hides the body shape again. Although Shangwenzhong can feel himself, his sudden invisibility will still affect him. Sure enough, the figure of Shangwenzhong was stunned. This time, Yunwu finally had a chance to turn around and run to one side. He stepped on the tree and flew forward. That direction, chase me. Shangwenzhong frowned and yelled angrily. However, there was no cloud dancing figure in front of her. Where she was hiding, Shangwenzhong could only feel a little bit of orientation. Looking at the man in black in front of him clumsily chasing in front of him, Shangwenzhong, a waste of his mind, moves forward quickly, pushes away all the people in front of him, and takes the lead in chasing in one direction. And Cloud Dance at this time has been far away. Looking around, Shangwenzhong is still chasing after him. Yunwu changes his direction and runs to the foot of a mountain. It's very fast. But Shangwenzhong was suddenly stunned, stopped in the same place, and then walked in the direction of Cloud Dance. In Yunwu's heart, the secret way is troublesome, but it speeds up, turns around a few times and continues to gallop, while Shangwenzhong is also dropped a long distance. In the huge forest, countless people in black were stunned by the fierce shaking grass in front of them and the crazy pursuit of Shangwenzhong. Finally, a mountain appeared in front of me. I saw that there were countless caves under the mountain in front of me. I'm afraid they were the places where Warcraft used to hide food. I was very surprised. Now, I ran to one of the caves and then quickly went in. Shangwenzhong had already reached the foot of the mountain. At a glance, he saw countless caves not far away. His face turned red and roared. However, even if he felt the smell of Cloud Dance now, he could not find where Cloud Dance was. There are so many caves in front of us, we can't let ourselves find them one by one. He turned to look at his men and said, "You, go to the cave in front of me and search one by one." His subordinates hurried away, looking flustered. Who knows whose cave this is, and whether there are cannibals? But who dares not to listen to the order of Shangwenzhong? They go away in a hurry and walk towards the cave. Cloud everywhere into a cave, this just saw, in front of the cave, actually winding, as if to a very far place. So in his hand, holding the big sword, he walked cautiously towards the front, thinking, maybe there will be another exit not far ahead. Sure enough, this cave is very long. After walking for a long time, I finally saw a light and ran forward. But I saw that there was another exit in front of me. Turn around and see if there's still no one coming over there. That's great. Cloud Dance thought in the heart, quickly drilled out from the hole. Standing in front of the mountain, Shangwenzhong's face was gloomy to the extreme because he could no longer feel the smell of clouds. He tried to kill people. Shangwenzhong said, "Let's go." In the dark and deep dungeon of the Beast Gate, Shangwenzhong took a group of people in black robes behind him and walked slowly towards the depth. In the past, this dungeon was not guarded by many people, but now it is guarded by a man in black every few steps. Since the self-explosion of Shuayin, there is no energy supply in the base of one human. All the places are in the charge of the members of the Beast Gate. All the arrays that rely on snow silver to provide energy are invalid. Only a small number of arrays that do not need snow silver to provide energy are still in use. Similarly, because of the self-explosion of Shuayin, the more the base of one human went down, the more it turned into ruins, and some of them barely maintained their shape, which seemed to be in danger. Shangwenzhong's face is heavy. There is no evidence that the dungeon in today's dungeon is the one in the past. The dungeon that can only rely on personnel's hands can't assign more people to do the things arranged by himself. What's more, today, Yunwoo has slipped away from his hands several times. How can he not be angry? So today, he must use some other methods to capture Yunwoo again. Data footsteps have been extending to the depth. The people of the 10,000 Beast sect standing on both sides all felt frightened when they passed by Shangwenzhong. It was said that Shangwenzhong was in a bad mood during this period, and people always died in his hands. So everyone was very careful, for fear that he would be offended by one of them, and they would not even know how to die. Finally, the steps of Shangwenzhong stopped, and the people behind him also stopped. In front of us is a big dungeon. Although the area is much larger than other dungeons, and the guards around are a few more than other places, the environment here is more messy. It seems that the people in charge are very important to Shangwenzhong, and he is willing to torture those who make him unhappy. The more unhappy he is, the more he wants to torture. There are several human beings in the dungeon. If Yunwoo were here, she would be able to find them all. Open the door. Shangwenzhong made a cold voice. Yes, one side immediately has a black dress person to answer away, then immediately come forward to take out the key, open the door of that dungeon. The moment the door opens, the light on the door flashes, and the pattern of an array emerges. Originally, these people were locked in the dungeon closest to the bottom, which was one of the strongest defenses in the whole Beast Gate. But Xuan self-explodes. The array in their previous cell is invalid, so they can only turn here and rely on the newly constructed array to defend. Shangwenzhong. People in the dungeon looked up one after another and saw Shangwenzhong standing at the gate of the dungeon. The expressions on their faces were different, but the most was still hatred. The corner of Shangwenzhong's mouth is a hook. Although she can't catch Yunwoo, it's good to catch the people she cares about here and torture them. If Yunwoo knows, I'm afraid her face won't be much better. How are you living here? Shangwenzhong stepped forward and stood outside the array at the door of the cell, sneering at the people who were locked up inside. Shangwenzhong. If you do evil, you must die. All the people of the Beast Gate will die hard. One day you will be rewarded, I tell you. There will be revenge for us. The imprisoned people all said excitedly, looking at the look of Shangwenzhong. They were eager to rush up to eat him one by one, and even some excited people really rushed up. But just when his hands touched the edge of the array, it was like being struck by lightning. A flash of light, a dash, a scream, shaking hands quickly back. There was chaos in the dungeon. Shangwenzhong, with a sneering smile, said, "Look at you now, where can you see the Murong family in the past? If Yunwoo were here now, he would be killed by the direct anger of Qi?" What did you say? Hearing Shangwenzhong's words, many people immediately raised their heads. Then an old man slowly stood up and looked at Shangwenzhong. What did you say? Little dance? Where is she? Shangwenzhong glanced at the people's faces and said, "She not here for the time being." As soon as the words came out, people were relieved. They were afraid that Yunwoo would fall into the hands of the Beast Gate just like them. At that time, there would be no chance. Yunwoo is too cunning. She escaped from me several times. I don't know what method she used. Last time I caught her, she provoked the energy snow stone of my base to explode and took the opportunity to escape here. It's disgusting. It's thanks to him that our Beast Gate has become like this. If I can catch her, I will kill her. As soon as he said cloud dance, Shangwenzhong was angry and said fiercely, "Haha, good. The little dance is really good." Murong Yun stood up and went to the old man just now. They stood together and were facing Shangwenzhong. There was no fear in their eyes. After listening to Shangwenzhong's words, everyone's looks had a sense of great happiness. Xiaowu is a good child with strong strength and tough character. It's hard for you to win her, ha ha ha. Murong said with a loud laugh, completely forgetting that he was still in prison at this time. Shangwenzhong's eyes were cold. Don't be happy too soon. Do you think I'm only here to bring you news? The Murong aristocratic family was not moved at all, and they were still happy with the news. At this point, no matter what they face, they are already fearless. Even if Shangwenzhong is in a bad mood, how about throwing fire at them? At this point, death may be better than survival. So they didn't pay attention to Shangwenzhong at all. They were still happily talking about Yunwu. Xiaowu is a child. I said she looks good. What's the matter? Look, even the Beast Gate can't help her. Yes, I said before, her future is limitless. Maybe there will be another day when the Gate of Beasts will be destroyed. There was a lot of discussion. Shangwenzhong, standing outside the dungeon, looked very ugly. Well, you think so much. Shangwenzhong said coldly, don't think it's okay for her to run away. If you want her to show up, I have many ways. At that time, I think you can still laugh. After that, Shangwenzhong turned around and said to several people in black, take all these people away. Yes, the man in black answered quickly, and then directly poured into the dungeon, pulled all those people up from the ground, and followed them out of the dungeon behind Shangwenzhong. In the main hall of the Beast Gate headquarters, Shangwenzhong issued a new order. Release the news, within 3 days, let Yunwo go to the headquarters base to surrender, 3 days later no one, I will kill her relatives and Murong family. Yes, all the people in black took orders and went out one after another. Sitting on the first seat, Shangwenzhong coldly looks at the Murong aristocratic family people who have been moved to the main hall in metal cages, showing a bloodthirsty smile. Yunwu is sitting in a small tavern in a small town not far from the headquarters of One Human, eating. This town is under the control of the Beast Gate, but it's also the only place with many people nearby. For Cloud Dance, as long as you blend into the crowd and cover up your breath, you can avoid the pursuit of the Beast Gate. With the vast sea of people, can you catch them one by one? What's more, now that we are here, Yunwu still needs to inquire about some things. All of a sudden, a group of people broke into the tavern which had been busy just now, and the tavern was quiet for a moment. Yunwu lowered his head and looked at the group of black-robed people who suddenly appeared with the remaining light from the corner of his eyes. He thought in his heart, I'm catching up so soon. I don't know if Shangwenzhong has followed me. This time, the people in black didn't do as much as before. On the contrary, they took the lead in watching the pub. Finally, they raised their voice and said, everyone listen to me. The Lord has orders. If anyone sees Cloud dancing, he must tell her. If she doesn't turn herself into the headquarters within 3 days, she will kill her relatives. Besides, all the people of Murong family are in our hands. Let her do what she can. Did you hear that? The man in black asked coldly. What he said just now attracted all the people in the restaurant to hear. Now when he asked so seriously, many people were busy nodding and said, I hear you. The man in black nodded with satisfaction and went to the next place. After all the people in black left, the restaurant resumed its previous bustle, but this time the topic of public discussion was all about the Cloud Dance. Hey, Cloud Dance again? Isn't that the one who has been wanted a few days ago? Why haven't you caught it so far? Who knows? I can't imagine that there are people who can't be caught in the Beast Gate. Tut-tut, I really don't know what the Cloud Dance is, it's so powerful. What's the use of being more powerful? Now they can't even protect their relatives. Those people are in the hands of the Beast Gate. Can they have good fruit to eat? I think that Cloud Dance is doomed this time. Shoo, keep your voice down. Dare you speak ill of the Beast Gate? Don't you want to live? The voice of discussion bit by bit into the cloud's ears, sitting in the corner of the cloud's palm tightly. Beast Gate. Yunwu gnashed his teeth in his heart and thought, how can they forget? They can't catch themselves, but they can attack the people around them. Murong Yun and his grandfather are in the hands of the Beast Gate. If they don't go, I'm afraid they will be more or less lucky. All around the sound like a magic spell, all people have no doubt that the Beast Gate can really do something to destroy the Murong family, but more people are wondering whether Cloud Dance will appear. But in Yunwu's heart, there is only one idea that has never changed, that is, must go. He put the teacup on the table heavily and made a dull sound of bang. Yunwu took out the money and put it on the table, then left the tavern quietly. The speed of Cloud Dance is extremely fast, and with the help of Chaos Hall, the people who escaped the Beast Gate all the way to the headquarters base. She didn't worry about meeting Shangwenzhong on the road, because in these 3 days, he would stay under the headquarters of Wanwoman and wait for her. Finally, Yunwoo reappeared at the gate of Wanwoman base. Looking at the headquarters base in front of him, the place he managed to escape from now had to be delivered to the door. Yunwoo couldn't help laughing bitterly. It's providence. He said this, but Yunwoo was not careless in his action. He went around the hall and went to the dungeon where he had been before. After a few days of conditioning, with the help of the power of enchanting bite. Therefore, Yunwoo's injuries in the dungeon have been recovered a lot, and the power of the third layer of Chaos Hall is better than before. But Yunwoo still knows that if Shangwenzhong is in front of him, he can easily find himself. They should be locked up here. Cloud Dance frowned and looked at the depth of the dungeon, surrounded by 10,000 beast men. It seemed that it was more strict than before. Yunwoo doesn't know how much trouble Xueyin's self-explosion has brought to the base. From the dungeon's point of view, it just feels that the guard is stricter than before, but it doesn't know about the array. It must be right here because of the high security. Cloud Dance thoughtfully said, feel for a while really no Shangwenzhong breath, so quickly drilled in, a cell to find. It's natural for Yunwoo to find them, but it doesn't mean that she will surrender without doing anything. In any case, she will try to fight to see if the Murong family are really here, and whether she can try to save people. Otherwise, if you really turn yourself in, you will fall into the hands of the Beast Gate. At that time, people may not be able to save you, and you will die here. Yunwoo is not familiar with the dungeon. When he was locked in before, he was alone on the other side, so now it's very difficult to find it. It took Yunwoo nearly half a day to watch the whole dungeon. Yunwoo, who stood at the gate of the dungeon again, had a heavy face, because she didn't find the Murong family, but she felt their residual breath. How can we not find? Cloud Dance frowned carefully thinking, in the end where is wrong, why this situation? As time went by, Yunwoo looked at the layout of the whole dungeon and felt that it was different from when she left. Did I miss something? Cloud Dance thought, then immediately decided to go in again to explore. This time, she was more careful than before. She not only checked the past carefully, but also felt the atmosphere around her at the same time. It took much more time than the first time. Even after she went in again, it took 2 hours. Standing at the door of the dungeon again, Yunwoo was more confused and even began to worry about music. But just then, outside the dungeon, there was a voice she knew very well. Now that you're here, you don't have to hide. It's not so easy to whisper that they robbed them. The sound of Shangwenzhong was heard clearly by all the beasts in the whole dungeon. In an instant, everyone looked for the figure of Cloud Dance everywhere. Yunwoo, wrapped in the smoke of Duman, stood there so upright until he heard the sound of Shangwenzhong. Yunwoo's heart moved and went directly into the 3rd floor of Chaos Hall. Shangwenzhong is different from these people. She can stand in front of people without being found. But even if it is still 100 feet away from Shangwenzhong, he will feel his own breath. It's no use even hiding. The voice of Shangwenzhong came again. Just don't know how, this voice is still in the same position as just now, Cloud Dance can hear, although the other party found their own existence, but did not mean to start. Think of here, Cloud Dance not only did not feel relaxed, but also instantly raised the heart. Standing in the 3rd floor of Chaos Hall, Yunwoo feels the surrounding environment with his eyes closed. What he pays most attention to is the smell of Shangwenzhong. But now has been found, so will not act rashly, so quietly standing. Although Shangwenzhong found out that she didn't come, Yunwoo thought that it was because Shangwenzhong couldn't determine her position. If she acted rashly, Shangwenzhong would do it immediately. After that sentence, the whole headquarters of the Beast Gate fell into silence. Shangwenzhong didn't speak, and other people didn't dare to speak. Yunwoo and he seemed to compare with each other. No one wants to speak first. Finally, Shangwenzhong seems to be impatient, knowing that Yunwoo won't show up. I had expected that you would not turn yourself in to me. Your strength is so strong and your heart is so high. Naturally, I have to anticipate what you plan to do in advance and be on guard at any time. Just this time, you're going to be wrong. Shangwenzhong said coldly, with pride in his voice. Since I'm dealing with you, Why don't I be fully prepared? I'm not hiding it from you. The people of Murong aristocratic family are on the main hall of the headquarters of our 10,000 Beast Gate. If you have the courage, you can come directly. I'll wait for you here. Of course, you may not believe it. Just continue to look for the person you want in my base, but as soon as 3 days arrive, I will kill one person a day, and the body is hanging at the front door of the headquarters, waiting for you to get it. Ha ha ha. Yunwoo's fists were tightly clenched. Now, she had no doubt about what Shang Wenshong said. Originally, the people of Murong aristocratic family are on the main hall. The voice of Shang Wenshong didn't come again. Yunwoo knew that he didn't have to wait any longer. At last, he took a look at the dungeon. Yunwoo turned and left the dungeon. Above the main hall, Shang Wenshong sat on the top seat, with a cold smile on his mouth, looking at the Murong aristocratic family in a huge cage below. What he said just now can be heard clearly in the headquarters of the Beast Gate. Naturally, all the people of Murong aristocratic family who are so close to him have heard it. At this time is one by one of the angry stare at him, want to rush out of the cage will he pieces. Shang Wenshong, you will get retribution. Murong family of a young man roared loudly. He is the most irascible one among these people, but after being arrested and tortured by the Beast Gate for so long, his temper has been almost worn, and he knows more about the importance of maintaining physical strength. But at this time, hearing Shang Wenshong's words, his calm mind seemed to disappear in an instant and roared out. There are many people who are in the same mood with him. All the people in the cage, except Murong Yun and his grandfather, stand up and stare at Shang Wenshong and roar. Shang Wenshong, don't think the little dance party is afraid of you. I tell you, the little dance is very powerful. She is very smart and won't come. You can kill us. Shang Wenshong, I advise you to give up this method, otherwise you will waste your time waiting here. Everyone you a word I a language of scramble to say, the heart is very worried about Cloud Dance really come. After being tortured by the Beast Gate for such a long time, they have long ignored life and death. Compared with Yunwoo's adventure, they hope that Yunwoo can protect themselves and destroy the Beast Gate in the future to avenge them. If Cloud Dance comes this time, I'm afraid it will be more dangerous than good. Shang Wenshong glanced at the people below and gave a sneer. He didn't pay any attention to them, as if it was a waste to look at them. He had enough confidence that Yunwoo would come here. 3 days is just around the corner. Shang Wenshong sat on the first seat and slowly opened his eyes. Compared with a few days ago, today's main hall is more heavily guarded, with rows of people in black standing on both sides of the lower hall, and the cage containing the owner of Murong family is placed in the middle of the main hall. Everyone in Murong family was worried and prayed to Yunwoo not to come. As time went by, Murong family became more and more relaxed. They even thought that time had better pass quickly. Shang Wenshong had better kill all of them now and let Yunwoo not take risks. However, when a slender figure appeared at the gate of the main hall of the Beast Gate and walked steadily towards it, the Murong aristocratic family were filled with sadness and joy, and their hearts were filled with melancholy. When they see Cloud dancing, they always have the illusion of hope. When they think about the current situation, they are not optimistic. When the figure of Cloud Dance appeared, the man in black on the main hall was faced with a great enemy, as if he could start at any time. But then Shang Wenshong raised his hand, indicating that people should not act rashly. Cloud Dance was cold with a face, walking step by step against the light, with an ancient sword hanging on the side of his body and the black flame burning on it. She didn't stop until she was close to the cage. Yunwoo looks at the people of Murong aristocratic family who are locked in the iron cage one by one with complicated eyes. He just feels as if there is something burning in his heart. He wants to rush up and smash Shang Wenshong to pieces. Here you are at last. Shang Wenshong squinted at Yunwoo and said in a low voice, I knew you would come. Cloud Dance will look away from the people in the cage, look up at Shang Wenshong, voice cold asked, I have come, you let them go. Let them go. Shang Wenshong raised his eyebrows, stood up and laughed, ha ha. Cloud Dance frowned and looked at the Shangwenzhong standing above. He didn't understand what he meant. That's interesting. When did I say I would let them go as long as you came? Don't dream. With a cold hum and a wave of his hand, the man in black immediately came forward, opened the cage, and led the people out one by one. The weak Murong aristocratic family had no backhand power at this time. They were carried by the people in black, like chickens, and could only be manipulated. Shangwenzhong is not afraid of what the Cloud Dance Party does. As long as she dares to act rashly, these people will die the next moment. What do you want to do? Cloud Dance wrung eyebrows to ask away, looking at those who are carried in the hands of people in black, very heartache. I don't want to do anything, Shangwenzhong said with a smile, but the smile made people feel very uncomfortable. You surprised me so much. Even if you were arrested, you still had the ability to nearly destroy my base. So this time, I have to have a long memory, and I can't let you escape anymore. Yunwu took a deep breath and said in a cold voice, if you let them go, I won't run away again. Shangwenzhong sneered, empty talk without foundation. What if I let them go and you run away? Or another way? Cloud Dance frowned. What do you want? How's it going? Shangwenzhong's eyes were cold, and his hands spread out. He flew down from above and landed in front of the people in black. He grabbed a person from a man in black and watched the Cloud Dance. Adoptive father, Cloud Dance exclaimed. Although, at the beginning, she would not admit Murong Yun, who claimed to be her adoptive father, but her adoptive father has gone, and he is now her relative. What's more, Murong family will be arrested because of her. Murong Yun was caught by Shangwenzhong and hung down feebly. It seems that he suffered a lot in the Beast Gate. Cloud Dance heart anger unceasingly, temporarily excited, unexpectedly nearly rushed forward. Don't move. Shangwenzhong immediately stopped. If you dare to act rashly, I'm sure you will regret it immediately. Yunwu stops abruptly and looks at Shangwenzhong. All kinds of ideas in his mind are constantly changing. His own strength is not as good as Shangwenzhong. What's more, all the hostages are in his hands at this time. As soon as I do it, I'm afraid, little dance. Yugo Murong Yun's neckline was carried. At this time, it was difficult to breathe, but he still said, I'm old. It doesn't matter whether I live or die, but you have to leave here. Only you live can you revenge us. As soon as Murong Yun's words were finished, others echoed, yes, Xiaowu, as long as you are alive, you will be able to leave here alive with your ability. Little Dance, we are grateful that you can come, but you are not his opponent. Let's go. Cloud Dance eyes cold listen to these words. The whole person is like an ice sculpture in general. There is no temperature, only that tightly hold the hand of Guwu Degeo exposed her mood at this time. How is that possible? How is it possible to leave behind the existence of their own as relatives? A person muddle along. Today, as long as she is here, we should protect them in any case. Otherwise, even if she died, she would not leave before them. Tut tut, what a touching scene. Shangwenzhong said with a sneer, it's just a pity, it can't move me. Yunwu looks at Shangwenzhong and doesn't say anything. She knows that it's useless to say anything. She can only see what the purpose of Shangwenzhong is. I've been waiting for you for 3 days, but you didn't arrive until the last day. Are you thinking of something? Shangwenzhong said, isn't it going to be here in the end? Yunwu took a deep breath and said, I'm not interested in hearing you say this. Come. Isn't your purpose to let me die? Now you let them go. You think highly of yourself. Shangwenzhong said with a sneer, now let them go, will you not escape? No escape. Cloud Dance affirms to say, yes, I don't believe what you say. Shangwenzhong said, how can you believe that? Cloud Dance asked. Shangwenzhong said, unless you it's useless. No. Cloud Dance hasn't spoken yet. All Murong aristocratic family people behind Shangwenzhong say one after another. Xiaowu, don't promise. If you promise them, we can't leave here. Yes, little dance. Think about it. If you don't have the ability, will Shangwenzhong let us and you go? Think twice before you leap. Xiaowu, don't promise. Shang Wenshong frowned and cheered coldly, "Shut up if you don't want to die." Murong aristocratic family all a smothering, followed by a roar of anger. "Shang Wenshong, you don't play that trick, Xiaowu won't be fooled, you have the ability to kill us. Come on, kill us." More noisy voice than before resounded through the main hall. Rao sure Shang Wenshong didn't see them in his eyes, and his face didn't look good when he was scolded like this. Shang Wenshong. Murong Yun, who was carried by Shang Wenshong in his hand, sneered and said, "You can't imagine it. Even now, you still can't make everyone afraid. Sooner or later, people like you will die miserably. We're all waiting for that." Shang Wenshong's eyes were cold. "It's an immortal thing." Then he looked up at the cloud dance directly and said, "Cloud dance. Do you think I won't kill them? I tell you, there are so many people here anyway, even killing one or two is good. I'll kill you now." Having said that, he took Murong Yun's hand and shook it directly. He just pulled his skirt, but now he directly pinched Murong Yun's neck. Cloud Dance eyes opened, exclaimed, "Stop." The next moment, the figure directly forward. Murong Yun was directly strangled by his neck, his feet off the ground, and he clasped Shang Wenshong's hand on his neck. The expression on his face was very painful. Yunwu's figure moved, and many people from the beast sect came forward one after another, directly blocking Yunwu out of the circle. Cloud Dance is extremely anxious in the heart, striving to rush towards the inside. Shang Wenshong looked at Yunwu's body coldly and said, "How dare you act rashly? Then I'll let you know the consequences." Say that, direct force on the hand. With a click, the sound of broken bones came. Murong Cloud eyes a stare, the next moment completely throat. Adoptive father dash, Yunwu roared in pain, and his hands moved more quickly. Those men in black with extraordinary skills fell more and more quickly in Yunwu's hands. Shangguan Suzuka looked cold and said coldly, "If you want more people to die, just do it." In a word, Cloud Dance stopped immediately. Then, Shang Wenshong waved, and the people in black on both sides also withdrew. A large open space appeared immediately in the middle, where Yunwu stood in pain. Not far away, Murong Yun's body was in front of him. Cloud Dance looked at Shang Wenshong, firmly said, "Let others go, I'll deal with you." Shang Wenshong said, "It seems that I'm really good at learning. In this case, I'll waste my power." Cloud Dance heart mixed feelings, after all, they still have no way to change all this. The voice of the Murong family's dissuasion is still ringing, but Yunwu already knows what to do. Standing in front of the crowd, Yunwu closed his eyes and said silently in his heart, "Xiaojiu, Stink and all my companions, I'm sorry. Once she loses her power, these summoners will become a waste just like her." The faint light flickered on Yunwu, which was a sign of self-waste. Shang Wenshong's face showed a smile of success. At this time, suddenly a black figure rushed in quickly. "Stop dancing." The long-lost voice rang out, and the black figure directly came to Yunwu's side and clapped it, directly interrupting Yunwu's action. Before Yunwu could react, he saw the figure running directly to the crowd in black, aiming at the man in black who was escorting the Murong family. "Xiao Mu." The cloud dances, the eye is bright. The next moment, also immediately took advantage of Shang Wenshong no reaction, directly rushed in, two people joined hands, quickly killed those people in black. Each of them was killed by one move, and then all the Murong family members were gathered together with the fastest speed. Yunwu and Xiaomu protected them behind, staring at Shang Wenshong. Although the situation is very bad at this time, they are obviously surrounded, but Yunwu's heart is finally relaxed. Because now, the people of Murong aristocratic family are finally standing behind them, not in the hands of one woman who may lose their lives at any time. In the main hall of the Beast Gate, he was immersed in the spirit of killing. The woman's lips are tight and her brows are wrinkled. Gu Wu's sword is in her hand. At this time, the back of her hand is blue and her eyes are red. The Murong aristocratic family was behind them, full of worries. And Cloud grandfather is distressed. Cloud Dance, tears in his eyes, sighing. There is only one fate for Cloud Dance to die. Shang Wenshong, with both hands on his back, looks at the Murong aristocratic family and Yunwoo and others who are surrounded by one woman's subordinates in front of him. His face is full of light smile. That's death. I just want to say that you must not regret Shangwensong. After all, I am not the only one behind me. Yunwoo looks at a group of people who have no fighting power behind him. He sighs silently in his heart. If it goes on like this, he will have no chance of winning. Take a deep breath. Cloud Dance closed his eyes. Heart, today really want to die here. Shangwensong looks at the helpless group of people dancing in the clouds. He sighs and shakes his head. He doesn't seem to be in a hurry to kill them. He is in the mood to chat with them. I appreciate you very much, but I can't help you. Today is the day to let you die, so you have to die. Yunwoo sneered twice. Her eyes were cold and murderous. She could see that Shangwensong was ready to die today. Thinking about this, she was on high alert, because she was sure that she could not fight against Shangwensong. Shangwensong also felt the wariness of Cloud dancing in front of him, and immediately laughed. I think you'd better not struggle. After all, in this situation, I don't think it's useful for you to struggle. Yunwoo doesn't speak. He just looks around warily and looks at the people around him. However, he frowns. The minions around him are much more powerful than the people he usually sees. And these people, obviously more cruel indifference, they stand there, a cold from their body, let Yunwoo feel very uncomfortable. Well, the last farewell, what else do you want to say? I give you time? Shangwensong looks at Murong's family and Yunwoo, smiles and turns his head. Seeing this, Yunchi hurried forward, grabbed Yunwoo's arm, and sighed. Xiaowu, I know you can escape, so you don't care about us. Leave quickly, and don't delay your own affairs because of us. Cloud Dance slightly frowned. Now, is life and death before parting? But looking at the tired and sad appearance of grandfather and Murong's family, they couldn't bear it. They patted grandfather's hand gently to show comfort. They whispered, Don't worry, today I won't let another one of you get hurt. Thinking about Murong Yun's tragic death, he turned his back and looked at the Shangwensong in front of him. He said angrily, If you have anything, just come to me. Let them go. Shangwensong laughed, but suddenly his face changed and waved to the people around him. All of a sudden, countless people in black are attacking Yunwoo and others. There was a scream in Murong's family, and all of them were in a panic. Yunwoo instantly summoned Xiaoqiu and Xiaojiu to attack Shangwensong in front of her. Her goal is not others. If she can fight to defeat Shangwensong, maybe she can fight for a chance of life for the Murong family. Thinking about this, he suddenly threw the sword and ran to the Shangwensong in front of him. Xiao Mu, on the other hand, seriously resisted the man in black in front of him. But Shangwensong didn't give her the chance to attack herself. She raised her hand and grabbed Xiaojiu in front of her. Xiaojiu stops in a hurry, but Xiaoqiu has already dived down in the sky. Shangwensong instantly changes its direction and grabs Xiaoqiu. Those hands are like a pair of sharp swords, which are hard to grasp on the little stinky body. All of a sudden, blood dripping, small stink wine, Cloud Dance will take him back in an instant. Seeing that Shangwensong is getting closer and closer, Yunwoo is ready to deal with it. Kill! All of a sudden, I heard a noise behind me, followed by a sound of weapons colliding. Shangwensong was also stunned. Suddenly he turned his head and looked out the door. Then he grabbed one of his men and said, Go and see what happened outside for me. However, before the master rushed out of the main hall, he saw that a large number of people had poured in outside. At this time, Yunwoo's eyes suddenly lit up. Yunjiajin. Yunjiajin, who had disappeared at the confluence, now appears here. And also came at the right time. Cloud Dance's heart is very happy, turned his head and took grandfather's hand, said, Grandfather, don't worry, we won't die. As soon as the words fell, a lot of people rushed in and scattered the people in black around Yunwoo and others. Then they surrounded them and watched Shangwensong and others standing outside. They were on guard. Your people? Shangwensong picks his eyebrows and looks at a group of people in front of him. These people are obviously well-trained and very powerful, which makes Shangwensong frown. Now the situation is a little troublesome. Cloud Dance's corner of the mouth raised a sneer, patted the person in front of him, let him give himself a vacancy. He came out from the protection of the Cloud family army and stood in front of Shangwenzhong. Of course, otherwise, is it your people? Shangwenzhong narrowed his eyes, nodded thoughtfully and touched his chin. You still have a backhand. It turns out that at the beginning, you were just procrastinating. It's natural. I just said that if you kill me, then the people behind me will not let you go. The appearance of the bamboo in the chest makes the Cloud Dance look bright. But Shangwenzhong just laughed and didn't say anything anymore. Suddenly he waved his finger. In an instant, countless people in black came out of the main hall and surrounded the whole Cloud family legion. All of a sudden, the atmosphere of the main hall became more serious, with murderous spirit, and instantly stagnated. Murong's family was even more frightened and trembled. Grandfather looked at the Cloud Dance anxiously and sighed deeply. The people of the Cloud family army did not move. Their leader turned back and looked at Yunwu. They were waiting for Yunwu's order. Kill me! Shangwenzhong suddenly yelled. All of a sudden, the people in black around them pulled out their weapons. Cloud Dancing frowned and nodded slightly. All of a sudden, the army of the Cloud family scattered and rushed towards the army of the Beast Gate. The two sides fell into one at a time. Grandfather, you leave quickly, we'll deal with it here. Yunwu turns around and pushes the Murong family out. Yunqi sighs helplessly, so he nods and takes the family around him to walk outside the main hall. Yunjiajin! Yunwu suddenly yelled. After a man nearby killed the people of the Beast Gate, he turned around and ran to Yunwu. What's the order of the leader? Take 15 people and escort Murong family to leave. Yunwu's voice is firm and unquestionable. What else does Yunqi want to say? After thinking, he sighs and shakes his head. The soldier quickly nodded his head and said yes. 15 members of the Yun family army came from his side. A group of people escorted the Murong family to the main hall. Yunwu, you are so capable. Now you can gather so many people to break into the main hall of our Beast Gate. If you don't die today, I'm afraid the world will be very peaceful in the future. Shangwenzhong mouthed with a smile, and in a moment, has come to the side of Cloud Dance. Yunwu's heart suddenly raised to his throat. He turned his head to see the direction of Murong family's departure. It seemed that it was smooth. Then he vomited. Turning her head, Morin's murderous spirit suddenly leaped above her pupils. She threw an ancient sword. The whirring wind made some mediocre beast men around her tremble. Point the sword straight at Shangwenzhong's chest, beautiful eyes, no longer panic and worry, but look at Shangwenzhong with a murderous face. Shangwenzhong also burst out laughing. Without any pause, a black fighting spirit instantly enveloped his whole body. When he attacked the clouds, the whole air seemed to be torn. Cloud danced quickly on tiptoe back, straight out of the main hall. The place outside is wide and convenient for fighting. Yunwu looks at the people fighting outside, turns around and stands in the same place, waiting for Shangwenzhong to come. Next to him, a Cloud family army is fighting against the people of the Beast Gate, but suddenly a man of the Beast Gate rushes out behind him and stabs at the back of the Cloud family army. Cloud Dance eyebrows slightly wrinkled, suddenly raised the sword, ran toward the soldiers of the Cloud family army. Chief! The soldier of Yunjia army dared to turn around and say hello to Yunwu at the critical moment. This makes Yunwu very speechless, but Yunjiajin has always been well trained, which makes Yunwu very confused, angrily denounce. Look ahead! Startled, the soldier turned his head and looked forward. Suddenly, he raised his long sword and took down one of the men's swords. Cloud Dance just came to the back of the soldier at this time, suddenly raised his hand and chopped at the man in black. Suddenly, the man in black spurted blood and flew out of the air. At this time, the soldier suddenly responded and quickly said thanks, but his face changed and he suddenly yelled, "Chief! Watch your back!" Yunwu's face turned pale and turned around almost instantly. Shangwenzhong's hand crossed Yunwu's neck. In an instant, there was a blood stain on his neck and a few drops of blood fell to the ground. Shangwenzhong didn't stop, but he grabbed Yunwoo's neck with his backhand, which was sinister. It was obvious that he was dead, and he never intended to let Yunwoo walk out of here alive. Yunwoo raised her hand to resist, and then stepped back 3 steps in an instant. Yunwoo, don't worry. You can't get out of here today. If you destroy our beast gate, you should pay for it with your life. Yunwoo doesn't pay attention to him at all, just rapping the thunder element on the sword, Shangwenzhong. It's too dangerous. He cut the shoulder of Shangwenzhong with a knife. Shangwenzhong avoided it, but he suddenly frowned and looked around. On his shoulder, his clothes were broken. Shangwenzhong's body immediately sent out a more powerful murderous spirit. Cloud Dance Heart's secret way now more careful, holding a big knife, vigilant looking at in front of. The whole Yunjiajin and Wanwoman's men are dead and wounded, and there are many corpses everywhere. Yunwoo can't bear to see the current situation, but if no one is sacrificed, where will the future peace come from? Countless people have been killed in the battle with the beast gate in front of us. The clouds are gnashing their teeth and there is a big fire in their eyes. The big knife seems to tear the air in the air, and a deep mark is drawn on the ground. She cuts towards Shangwenzhong. This knife makes Yunwoo almost use up all her strength. Seeing the fierce appearance of Yunwoo, Shangwenzhong also became cautious. He suddenly slowed down and didn't rush forward. Instead, he felt the power of Yunwoo when it came. Then he suddenly closed his eyes and raised his hands slightly. All of a sudden, countless swords inserted in the ground were suspended from the ground to the air by him, and all the swords shot out in the direction of clouds. Cloud Dance quickly raised the knife to block back, but the huge strength still made people around tremble. Yunwoo also took a step back, but he saw that Shangwenzhong suddenly grabbed a soldier of the Cloud family around him and threw him. The soldier screamed and his face turned pale. Of course, he thought that he could not kill his own man. Yunwoo also knew that, but Yunwoo could not give up the life of a Yunjiajin. But Shangwenzhong was behind the soldier, standing behind him. If he could not kill this man, he might be beaten to death by Shangwenzhong in the next second. Hesitated only for a moment, Yunwoo immediately made a response. She suddenly turned the blade sideways to avoid the soldier. But Shangwenzhong had already appeared in front of him, and the palm of his hand was towards the Cloud army. Yunwoo grits his teeth and suddenly turns his body in the air, blocking the middle of Yunjiajin and Shangwenzhong. Yes, maybe she would be seriously injured if she took the blow, but if the soldier took the blow, he might not survive. Release the fighting spirit to cover the whole body to resist the power of Shangwenzhong's palm. Yunwoo closes her eyes and clenches her teeth to protect her heart. Suddenly, behind a small burst of wind came. Suddenly, Yunwoo opened his eyes and was stunned for a long time. Before he made any response, he felt that Shangwenzhong behind him suddenly turned his strength to one side and hit him in a certain direction on the ground. Cloud Dance Heartway is just the time, quickly toward the upper official grave chest cut. Shangwenzhong frowned and wanted to avoid it, but there was another concealed weapon flying by his side, which came very quickly. And silent, Shangwenzhong could not avoid, so he was not prepared to avoid the hidden weapons around him, but chose to avoid the attack of Yunwoo. The small concealed weapon stabbed into Shangwenzhong's arm instantly. A small stabbing pain suddenly changed Shangwenzhong's face, because he felt that his hand was numb. And the wound caused by the concealed weapon extended out and became dark gradually. Damn it, he clapped at Yunwoo angrily. Poof! Cloud Dance suddenly can't stand, a mouthful of blood gushes out. Shangwenzhong quickly sealed the meridians on his arm and clapped his other hand at Yunwoo. Yunwoo took a cold breath, but because of the pain, he couldn't move at all. He watched Shangwenzhong's hand clap towards him. But suddenly, another group of people in black appeared around them, just like they appeared out of thin air, silent, just attacking in the direction of Shangwenzhong. Killers. Yunwoo is very excited, which shows that this time, more victory is in sight. With the emergence of the Killer Corps, the battle is more rapid. Countless bodies of people in black on the ground gradually accumulate into mountains. And the Killer Corps still quietly shuttle in the whole battlefield. They are good at sneak attack, they are good at melee attack, all moves are deadly. The leaves in front of the hall are clattering, but the voice of the killer core is not as loud as that of the leaves. The cloud dance suddenly felt relaxed a lot, and the speed of the cloud army also became faster. But at this time, Shangwenzhong's face is quite bad. The poison on his arm, after being blocked by him, spread a little slowly, but it also limited the action of Shangwenzhong, and its power was greatly reduced. Yunwu is secretly happy and continues to bully him. Shangwenzhong's face changes, but he suddenly flies back. Yunwu is not angry and continues to move forward. There are countless concealed weapons behind him, escorting Yunwu to Shangwenzhong and cutting them down. Shangwenzhong's eyes were full of ferocity and blood. He raised his hand and patted away Yunwu's sword. A long sword on the ground was picked up by him and stabbed at Yunwu. Yunwu coughed twice, but the injury in front of her was not light. Now her arms are a little heavy, and her chest is very painful, which makes her sweat and slow down her body reaction. This makes Yunwu very anxious, watching the sword stabbing at him, but can't react. Cloud Dance, be careful. Xiao Mu's voice suddenly appeared behind him. Cloud Dance in the heart of the secret is not good, just want to stop, but see Xiao Wood figure has appeared in front of him, suddenly, abruptly caught the blow of Shangwenzhong. A mouthful of blood spurted out. Xiao Mu's face had instantly turned white to transparent. But Shangwenzhong didn't want to let him go. He grabbed Xiao Mu's clothes and dragged him back. Xiao Mu was unable to resist at this time, and Yunwu was injured again. Shangwenzhong pulls Xiao Mu to his side and clasps his neck with his hand. Now you are of great use to me. Shangwenzhong said, looking down at Xiao Mu. He nodded with satisfaction. Yunwu picks up Guwu Degeo and is about to come forward to help each other, but suddenly there is a group of people around him. These people are wearing the clothes of the killer core. And that gang of people instantly stopped Yunwu and said, "Chief, you have been injured. If anything happens again, I'm afraid we can't afford it." No way. Yunwu anxiously looks at the captured Xiao Mu and wants to help her, but the people of the killer regiment around her have stopped her, and her injuries limit her movement. Her eyes are a little red. Looking at Xiao Mu, who was caught, she can see that Xiao Mu smiles at her from a distance, which seems to reassure her. The killer regiment surrounded her in the middle and walked out together. In the chaos, the assassin corps quietly killed all the way. Yun Jiajun also did not say a word, and escorted him all the way. Not long, Yunwu has been successfully sent out of the main hall of the Beast Gate. Upper bound. A very remote valley is covered by a border. The people of Yunwu and Yunjiajin didn't breathe a sigh of relief until they arrived here. Then they checked whether there was anyone following behind them. Seeing that they had successfully dumped the people of Wanwoman, they were relieved one after another. In an inconspicuous place open the border of a mouth, people fish in. Has entered the valley, Cloud Dance immediately surprised eyes. The valley you see after crossing the border is completely different from what you saw before outside the border. If we had only seen a valley before, now we are seeing a world just like a peach blossom land. Large areas of open space planted with a variety of food. Not far away there are small pastures, raising a variety of poultry. Further down, there are a number of humble houses, which are well located, just like the ranks of soldiers in the army, without any deviation. Standing at the entrance of the valley, Yunwu can clearly hear a powerful cry coming from the deepest part of the valley. The slogans of roar and ha are mixed with the clear and loud voices of soldiers and swords. One sound came and reverberated in the valley. Just listening to it, it was inspiring. This valley is more rigorous than the valley where we agreed to meet before. These voices, are they all our people? Cloud Dance, shocked to turn head to ask to stand nearby of several Cloud family armies. General, some can't believe. The generals looked at each other with a trace of pride on their faces. Then a general stepped forward and said to Yunwu, "The leader guessed well. Those are our own people." Yunwu was surprised. Although she had already arranged everything when she left at that time, it was not only her own arrangement that was needed to make Yunjiajin develop in a short time, but also how much sweat was needed behind it. Yunwu was the most clear. "Come on, go and have a look now." Cloud Dance, some excited said. She couldn't help but want to see with her own eyes what the Cloud Army had become. She stepped out directly, but after a few steps, she stopped in a hurry. "Wait a minute, just settle everyone up and take a few people to show me." A general nodded, and then quickly gave the order. He ordered several names to stay, and the others left with the Murong family. "After all, we just had a big war, and we still need to rest." The cloud dances a few people footstep fast toward the valley deep place but go. Along the way, when I passed through the village I lived in, I saw groups of thatched cottages on both sides of the road. In addition to the people who were responsible for the daily life of the soldiers, I seldom saw any strong men again. Yunwoo knows that these people must be in the place where they are about to arrive. And I don't know why, Cloud Dance always has a premonition that there is something surprising about to appear in front of him. Finally, after passing through the village and reaching the depth, Yunwoo raised her eyes and saw a forest appear in front of her. The loud voice could be heard before, but at this time close but cannot hear. "Chief, please wait a moment." The general on one side said with a smile, "It's caused by the use of the Chimin Duanjia. The closer you get, the more easily you will be confused. Except for some generals, even the ordinary soldiers don't know how to pass through it. Usually, when you pass here, someone specially leads the way to get in. This is also to prevent the appearance of the Beast Gate one day, so as to give everyone time to leave." Yunwoo nodded with satisfaction. Although she had been away for such a long time, it didn't look like they were leaderless at all. On the contrary, it's developing rapidly. It's quite a research on this strange Duanjia, but I don't know how its strength has been enhanced. Yunwoo is looking forward to it more and more. "Chief, follow me. Don't get separated," said the general. Then he went to Yunwoo's body and poked around a few trees. Cloud Dance just feel around clearly what change all have no, but that famous general lead but turned to say, "Already can." Having said that, the man led the way. Yunwoo followed him in. As soon as he stepped into the forest, he felt as if he had arrived at another place. The cry that had just disappeared resounded again. "And turn head to see again to come in of place, have no any border, look ordinary." Cloud Dance heart, tut-tut, praise, but the pace is not slow, closely behind the leader. At the same time, several other generals followed her. After walking towards the forest for a long time, Yunwoo always felt that there was no change in the surrounding environment. He was very interested in this technique. He couldn't help observing it carefully. Before he looked at the clinker carefully, he heard the footsteps of the general in front of him stop. "Chief, here we are." As soon as Yunwoo's spirit was shocked, he looked forward and saw a large open space in front of him, which was out of place with the surrounding forest. It's a martial arts arena. There are thousands of people on it. Those people were divided into two parts. 2/3 of them were all dressed in the uniform of Yunjiajin, and they were in a neat line and were practicing in the martial arts arena. And the other part, all dressed in black strong clothes, they didn't have harsh requirements, but with their own habits hidden around, to capture the opportunity to attack those Cloud Army. In this way, the Yunjiajin not only has to work hard when training, but also keeps vigilant to prevent being attacked by those people in black. And these people in black are the killer corps established by Cloud Dance. "Go and have a look, Chief." The generals on one side saw the expression on Yunwoo's face clearly, and everyone's face was full of pride. Cloud Dance presses the mood that the chest beats fiercely. After the face restored calm, this just nodded, say, "Good, that passes." So the leaders took Yunwoo to the martial arts arena one after another. In front of the arena, there is a tall platform. At this time, there is a majestic man standing on it. He has broad shoulders, strong posture, and a suit of military uniform, which highlights his valiant character. At this time, he was facing the direction of Yunwoo, seriously looking at the people who were training in the arena under the stage. From time to time, he showed a look of appreciation, and from time to time, he frowned at a certain direction or a certain soldier and promoted him. His attitude was so serious that he didn't even find that Yunwoo and others were about to arrive. Who? It was not until Yunwoo and others were about to approach him that the general finally felt someone approaching. The next cold drink, A sword instantly appeared in the palm of his hand, directly turned to look at the people, but when his eyes came into contact with Yunwoo's face, he was stunned. As soon as the cloud danced around the corner of his mouth, a cold voice rang out, "Long time no see." Unexpectedly, as soon as he came up, he met each other in arms. As for Gao Yu, that majestic general was the general who Yunwoo had personally accepted his fate. He was also the person who really took charge of Yunjia army in Yunwoo's absence. Gao Yu. First Chief Gao Yu, some can't believe of say. He was always a big man. His voice was shaking. His hand with the sword was almost unstable. After shaking a few times, he fell down powerlessly. The sword fell to the ground with a bang. The clear voice sounded in the martial arts arena, and it happened that it was on the high platform again, where all the soldiers could notice. Therefore, the sound attracted many soldiers to look to this side, and some people who didn't pay attention to it even looked at it when they saw the reaction of the people around them. It doesn't matter. Many people see Gao Yu's gaffe. Cloud Dance looks at the long sword that falls on the ground and can't help frowning. Gao Yu is good at everything, but when he is excited, he can't hold the sword steadily. Doesn't he see himself again? As for that, if he is his enemy at this time, he will lose his weapons. I'm afraid he will be defeated in his own hands soon. At present, Yunwoo wants to educate him well. But just after clearing my throat, I didn't say anything. I suddenly felt that there was chaos in the martial arts arena. What's the matter? One of the generals around Yunwoo frowned and looked at the arena. It doesn't matter. I found that many people in black who were hiding in the dark felt that they had seized the good opportunity to assassinate them when they were distracted. It's not terrible for a man in black, but at this time, more than half of the killers started to act. For a moment, the whole martial arts arena was in chaos. Those soldiers who wanted to see why Gao Yu was so impolite quickly took back their mind and began to seriously deal with the killers who came to attack. Those soldiers who were not targeted also began to defend. The whole arena is in chaos, and as time goes on, the chaos is getting worse. Gao Yu quickly took back his gaffe, picked up the fallen sword from the ground and looked down. "Chief, please wait a moment. It's time to teach these kids a lesson." After that, Gao Yu let out a roar, brewing his fighting spirit into his voice and spreading it to the distance. "Stop it all. All Yunjiajin and Killer Corps stop." In a short sentence, all the people present stopped. Yunjiajin quickly returned to their position, seriously stand, and killers also immediately find a place to hide themselves. Just this time, everyone's eyes were on the stage. Gao Yu cleared his throat, trying to restrain his heart to talk with Yunwoo, and at the same time, he also seriously thought about how to tell the soldiers that the leaders coming back would have deterrent power. Suddenly, from around the martial arts arena, there are several black figures with extremely fast speed towards the platform. There is an unwritten rule that the members of the Killer Army can challenge the Cloud Army at any time. They can assassinate each other regardless of their identity level on the premise that they will not be seriously injured or hurt their lives. Gao Yu, who has been standing on the stage, has always been the target of assassins. It seems that as long as he can be assassinated successfully, he can become famous in the First World War. And it was the assassination regardless of time and occasion. At this time, so many shadows rushed towards the stage. Gao Yu's first reaction was that these people came again, and he couldn't help frowning. "All back. Let's get down to business first." Gao Yu cheered coldly. "If you always say so, these people will leave. After all, business is more important than completing the assassination task." But today, these people in black are not normal, not only did not retreat, but also increased the speed. Gao Yu frowned and was still thinking about whether these people had taken the wrong medicine. When he was so positive today, he saw that the people in black had missed him and went straight to the people behind him. "Be careful, Chief." Gao Yu gave a warning. But the next moment, he found that several figures rushed forward, but they didn't attack Yunwoo. Instead, they jumped on Yunwoo like children. Gao Yu wants to continue to remind words, directly blocked in the throat. "Little dance. Xiaowu, you're back. Xiao, you finally found us. We all miss you so much. We thought you couldn't find us. We're going out to find you together. Little dance, how are you out there?" Have you been bullied by the Beast Gate? It doesn't matter. We'll call you back. Xiaowu, how about your strength? Has it been improved? Do you want us to compare 2 moves? Little dance. The 4 men in black rushed up, one embracing Yunwu's neck, one embracing Yunwu's waist, and the other simply embracing the 2 from the side. At this time, the 3 people are feeling the temperature in Yunwu's arms happily. The only person in black who is a little bit colder is standing beside Yunwu at this time, looking at all this with a surprise. Gao Yu was shocked to see everything in front of him. He even doubted whether he had read it wrong and raised his hand to wipe his eyes. It was not only Gao Yu who was shocked, but also many soldiers standing under the stage as well as the killers who were hiding in the dark. Killers have always been trained in psychological quality. Usually, they are not cold-faced. They always look like strangers are not near. They are used to the dark life. They have high strength and high speed. They often use one move to defeat the enemy. However, at this time, these people rushed to the stage in full view of the public and held a woman they had never seen before, who was as kind as an ordinary woman. But soon, someone recognized Yunwu's identity. My God, that man is the leader. Someone exclaimed. What leader? Don't you always call General Gao General? Another new recruit who has just joined the army said suspiciously. No, I'm talking about the leader. The woman who was hugged is our leader Yunwu. Just now the voice of that person's surprise of say, wished to also directly rush forward. But he was just an ordinary soldier, not familiar with Yunwu, but very adored. What's more, there is their General Gao Yu standing on it. If he rushes up, he is afraid that he will be punished the next moment. What did you say? That man is the legendary leader? That strange woman? Recruits egg-shocked said. The recruits who joined the army later never met Yunwu himself, but everyone who joined the army knows clearly that there is only one real boss, whether it's Yunjiajin or Killer Corps, that is a woman named Yunwu. At any time, the deeds of Cloud Dance always spread in these 2 organizations, just like brainwashing. Therefore, almost everyone regards Cloud Dance as a hero in their heart, and everyone is curious about what Cloud Dance really looks like. Some people speculate that it might be a woman with a big body and a round waist, while others speculate that it might be an inaccessible aristocratic woman. But now the woman standing in front of them is such an approachable and personable woman. And those killers can be so close to her. At this time, Yunwu has no brain to think about what others will think. She is also very surprised when she is held tightly by 3 people. I didn't expect to see them here. No wonder I didn't see them when I came back to the college a few days ago. I came here. Xiao Zhu, unintentionally, Ling Feng, how can you be here? And you're in the Killer Corps? Cloud Dance finally pulled the hands of 3 people, looked at the clothes they were wearing, some shocked said. See 3 people mysterious smile, Small Zhu takes the lead to open a mouth. Hey Xiaowu, you don't know that, do you? What we can learn in the college is limited. If we want to learn more, we can only look for it by ourselves, and your Killer Corps is a good choice, which can not only continue to improve our strength, but also learn what you will. This treatment is not generally good, so the 3 of us discussed and joined in. That's right, Xiaowu. The training of the Killer Corps is fierce. Now the strength of the 3 of us has improved a lot. Unintentionally also said, looking at the Cloud Dance's eyes with the surprise of reunion. Xiaowu, we have not only improved our realm, but also have the power to fight even if we meet a higher level opponent according to the strength of the 3 of us. How about Xiao? Isn't that good? Ling Feng's eyes twinkled with proud light, but I'm sure I can't compare with you. After so long, your strength must have improved a lot. What's your strength now? Cloud dances the corner of the mouth to stir up a smile. Facing 3 people, oneself unexpectedly seemed to return to the college in general, carefree. The 3 of them all chattered. What about you? Yunwu looks at the cold water behind the 3 and asks. She knew clearly that if she had answered the 3 people at this time, I'm afraid that they can't close them one by one as if they had opened a conversation box. Fortunately, when they saw Lung Qingshui, they pulled her to the rescue. Lung Qingshui was moved by this question. Master. Cloud Dance hooks a lip cape to sea to cold clear water. This apprentice at the beginning of oneself since accepted, will take good care of. Now it seems that strength has improved a lot, and for others, it must have made a lot of efforts. Yunwu feels very satisfied in his heart. Looking at today's killer core, he is more satisfied with Leng Qingshui's work. Well done. You've been working hard these days. Cloud Dance spoke in praise. Although Cold Water did not say, but all the results have come to the surface, Cloud Dance a glance will sweep out. Thank you, Master. I don't think it's hard. Lung Qingshui said seriously. Little Dance is back? A man's voice came suddenly. Yunwu was shocked. I never thought that I could see him here today. Looking up in disbelief, I saw a man's figure coming to Yunwu in the position where some generals of Yunjia army were standing. The same burly figure appeared in front of Yunwu. Cloud Dance only feel a lung, immediately, heart suddenly tremble. He's alive. Wasn't he killed by the people of the Beast Gate? What's going on? After half a sound, she finally yelled out, Dad. This man is Yun Lingyi, the father of Yunwu. Hearing the voice of his father, Yun Lingyi was so sad that he quickly put out his hand and hugged Yunwu in his arms. Child, my good child, I finally see you again. In fact, there is always an indescribable gap between Yun Lingyi and Yunwu. However, at this moment, that layer of estrangement seems to disappear without a trace. Long-lost relatives, after all, have blood ties. Yunwu only felt that she had not been so moved for a long time, as if she had countless grievances and hardships to say, "This it's my father." But in the end he endured and said nothing. There are thousands of soldiers standing under the stage. She has to look like a leader. So, she came out of Yun Lingyi's arms, and her face returned to the former calm. Well, don't stand here and say it. Gao Yu opened his mouth at the right time. It's rare to meet again. Leader, it's better to go back to the village first and have a good talk with everyone. Cloud Dance nodded, so Gao Yufei quickly arranged the next task of the soldiers. This just took Cloud Dance together according to the way back. And at this time, the upper bound of a inn. Long Qingxia was sitting in the inn, wearing a hat and tasting tea. People came and went around, and no one went to see this strange man with a bamboo hat, because everyone knew that strangers should not be provoked. Otherwise something might happen. So Long Qingxia sat here, quietly watching people coming and going. I tell you, a few days ago, the roof of my house was suddenly smashed through, and a man fell down. This man bared his teeth and lay on the ground for a long time without getting up. I was scared. I thought he was an immortal, and now he is worshipping. There is a person sitting down on a sudden drink of tea, and then said to the people around, "This makes the dragon pour evil smell one lung, but have no speech, just listen quietly. Don't mention it. I heard that one of Zhao Xi's family fell down that day, but she was a beauty, but that beauty was very powerful." Zhao Xi just made a few remarks and was interrupted by that beauty. Oh, when she saw me that day, she was black and blue, and I laughed to death. The people in the inn are talking about it, and Long Qingxia listens to it without saying a word. All the information is collected in the mind, the corner of the mouth can't help showing a smile of evil spirit. Sure enough, you're not out of the upper bound, so it's easy. He put down his glass and stood up, ready to go downstairs. Looking at this strange man with a hat on his head, people around him could not help talking in a low voice. Long Qingxia listened to the voice of the people around him, narrowed his eyes slightly, stopped and turned his head. Mingming was wearing a hat, and his whole face was covered. He couldn't see what he was like. However, the sudden coldness of his body made everyone around him cringe and stop talking. Long Qingxia didn't speak or express too much. He just turned around and continued to walk downstairs. Now he's in a bad mood, very bad, because his little guy's gone. There was no Cloud Dancing at the meeting place that had been agreed before. In addition, the transmission array was damaged by people. It is obvious that the people of the Beast Gate had already known their plan and were ready before they arrived. The more he thought about it, the more angry he felt, which made everyone around him feel cold. No one dared to get close to him. But he had just stepped down the stairs on the second floor and the first floor when he heard a noise coming from downstairs. The noise made him even more angry. He stopped and stood at the edge of the stairs on the second floor, looking at the downstairs. Downstairs, a large crowd suddenly swarmed into the door of the inn. Most of these people are big and round, and their burly appearance makes the guests downstairs feel afraid. The people who were still chatting gradually stop talking and quietly look at the group of people in front of them. The shopkeeper was even more afraid. He ran out from behind the counter and kowtowed to the group of people in front of him. He said with a smile, "I don't know if you are coming here. If you are not welcome, I will drive all the people out of the inn." A large group of people have come in. One of them hits the food on the table next to him on the ground and sits down. A group of people look at the shopkeeper with a smile. The shopkeeper is miserable. "I said that you haven't paid for more than 10 days. You know, we are not protecting you for nothing. It's also very hard. If you don't pay us any more, I'm afraid we can't guarantee your safe business here." Long Qingxie stood quietly on the second floor, looking at the downstairs. The hateful faces of these people make Long Qingxie very angry. Of course, he is not a warm-hearted person who takes out a knife to help others. It's just that he's very angry and itchy now. In front of him, these people are very arrogant, which makes Long Qingxie very dissatisfied. He slowly walks down from the second floor and quietly looks at the arrogance of the people in front of him. The shopkeeper was already in a cold sweat. He quickly brought up several jars of good wine, let a group of people sit down, filled the bowl with wine. His hands shaking when he picked up the bowl, and his voice shaking even more, as if he was about to cry. "Gentlemen, you know I'm in a small business. I can't afford the hard work I'm asking for. Otherwise, if you want a drink in the future, you can come to me. I'm not stingy. I'll give you all the best wine to drink." Several people sneered twice, poured 2 mouthfuls of wine into their throat, slammed the bowl on the table and said, "You really think we are beggars? We are responsible for protecting you here. Naturally, you have to offer us good wine, but money is also indispensable." At this time, Long Qingxie had come to the first floor and found a seat everywhere. And the guests around have been scared to flee. The whole inn, there are no guests. Of course, except for the dragon. But no matter what, this makes the shopkeeper very helpless, anxious at a loss, can only helpless way. "But a few masters, every time you come here, my guests have fled, so go on, I can't earn money in any case. This is not for me?" Before he finished speaking, a big man stood up suddenly. The shopkeeper didn't respond. He had already been pulled up by the man and put it on the table. Angry way, "You dare to say that we are wrong at this time?" The shopkeeper was so scared that he was about to pee his pants. He was held in his hand by the big man again. He was even more afraid to speak. His face was even whiter. Sweat fell down his forehead and his collar was wet. Long Qingxie sat aside, quietly opened a jar of wine, poured a bowl for himself, closed his eyes and tasted it carefully. Suddenly intoxicated, he said to himself, "This is really good wine. The shopkeeper is really stingy. I clearly gave the highest price, but you didn't give me the best wine. It's hard to say." These people are swaggering. As soon as they hear someone talking, they all look around. But found that countless guests around have fled, but only one wearing a hat to cover the whole face, still sitting there, mouthful by mouthful of wine, very leisurely. Several big men raised their eyebrows almost at the same time, and several of them had already gone in the direction of Dragon's evil. The shopkeeper was even more afraid and said in a hurry, "Gentlemen, this is my grudge with this guest. Don't hurt the innocent." What the shopkeeper said made Long Qingxie very satisfied. He nodded with a smile, put down the bowl, raised his head, looked at the big men standing in front of him, raised his eyebrows, and his eyes were full of banter. However, those big men could not see. "Why, do you want to have a drink?" The man also raised his eyebrows and looked puzzled. "I say you are really ignorant. You see, people around you have already escaped. Why don't you go? Can you come up with some money?" Long Qingxie lowered his head and quietly turned the wine bowl in his hand. He didn't say anything, just sighed. But the shopkeeper was in a hurry and yelled, "Go quickly. In case something happens later, I can't guarantee you." Long Qingxie laughs. Suddenly, Morin's eyes are murderous. He suddenly throws his bowl at a big man. The big man was hit on the nose by the bowl before he could show his angry expression. But this time, the dragon didn't use much strength, just threw it casually, so the big man wailed and covered his nose, and there was bright red blood in his fingers. "Call me," the man with his nose in his hand said vaguely. C next to a few people, has completely ignored the shopkeeper, toward the direction of dragon evil. But the shopkeeper sighed anxiously, ran to him in a hurry, stood in the way between the big man and the dragon, and said, "I say you don't have the same opinion with the guests. I'll give you money, I'll give you money." But Long Qingxie stood up, reached out and pushed the shopkeeper aside, raised his foot and kicked a big man in the stomach. The big man watched Dragon Qingxie kick at him, but he couldn't escape. Because I don't know why, this man's speed is surprisingly fast. Just listening to the wailing of his whole life, the man has fallen out, smashed the door of the inn and rolled on the ground outside. The road outside was instantly full of people. Long Qingxie turns his head and looks at another person who is still standing beside him. That person also glares angrily and suddenly raises his fist and smashes at Long Qingxie's face. This man is really smashing, because his fist is bigger than the bowl of wine with the wind. The shopkeeper stood aside and was too scared to make a sound, because if he hit himself with his fist, he really couldn't imagine what he would be like. But Long Qingxie didn't hide, and he didn't have any other preparation. He just raised a hand, and gently held the big man's hand. And to everyone's surprise, the big man's fist actually stopped in front of the dragon's head, where there was a fist. Dragon Qing evil cold grin, suddenly hard pinch down. Just listening to a crackling sound, the big man's face was distorted by the pain, and his hand was also distorted, sweating. He suddenly hugged his hand and jumped up in situ. "It's noisy." Long Qingxie rubbed his ears and suddenly raised his hand to chop on the big man's neck. In an instant, the big man lost his voice and passed out. "I'm in a bad mood today." Long Qingxie sighed and walked towards the big man, "Because I can't find my little guy." The big man felt puzzled and very cautious, but he was very angry and said, "You can't find anything. It has nothing to do with us. But I drink here, and you disturb me." Long Qingxie narrowed his eyes and looked up at the big man. "This makes me very unhappy." Suddenly he raised his fist, and Long Qingxie threw it at the man's face in front of him. The man suddenly turned pale with fright, fell down on his knees with a plop, and yelled, "Young Xia, spare your life. It's very flexible." Long Qingxie looked at the man's eyes, suddenly appeared a thick irony, suddenly squatted down, reached for the man's collar, said, "Tell me, where is your nest?" The big man had been frightened by the appearance of Dragon's evil spirit. He trembled and said, "I'll take you with me." Long Qingxie smiles and releases his hand. Then he stands aside and looks at the man. The man stood up tremblingly, and all the people around him were injured. They stood up and walked out without wailing. They knew that if they didn't listen to the person in front of them, the problem might be very serious. But because of their bad luck, they just caught up with such a powerful man and lost his favorite thing. Long Qingxie went out with the group. The shopkeeper behind suddenly rushed out of the inn and yelled at the back of Long Qingxie, "Thank you, young Xia." Long Qingxie waved and didn't speak. All the way, these people were terrified. They looked at others pointing at them on the street. They were very unhappy. They turned their head and angrily denounced the people around them. "What are you looking at? These people have always been bullies among the ordinary people here, which has made everyone miserable. Now they are very happy to see them become like this." Some people can't help but feel funny. No matter what people around him thought of them, Long Qingxie hated them very much. He slapped a big man on the head and said, "Go away, what are you shouting about?" The big man wilted for a moment, no longer dared to speak, and hurried forward with his head down. There was another burst of laughter in the crowd. In a short time, several great men had already brought Dragon Qingxie to their gathering place. This group of people is a village made up of all the ignorant young people in the whole town. When Long Qingxie came into the stockade, almost all of them stood up and walked towards Long Qingxie. Some of them were holding sticks, some were holding swords, all of them looked very powerful. As if they had seen a helper, the big men who led the way showed off their power in a flash. I advise you to apologize quickly, otherwise, we can't guarantee that you can get out of here alive. Long Qingxie smiles and doesn't speak, but suddenly his face is cold and kicks a big man's stomach. The big man was kicked out of the inn by him. Now he kicked again. Suddenly, the big man's blood was gushing, and he had fallen on the ground and turned his eyes. Without making a sound, the dragon went straight through countless people and walked towards the stockade. Tell your boss to come out and see me. Long Qingxie sat down on the stool and said nothing, and the terrible smell from him made the people around him dare not come forward. Suddenly, they looked at each other and fell into silence for a moment. After a while, a voice sounded from behind the group. Why, I heard that someone came to smash the scene. I'd like to see who dares to come to our Anqing village. The words didn't finish. The public already impatiently gave up a road, and in an instant, this person already face to face with Long Qingxie. Long Qingxie looks at the person in front of him. Suddenly, a black energy comes out of his palm. In an instant, the strong breath made everyone step back 3 steps, and the person in front of him almost instinctively wrapped his whole body with fighting spirit. It's purple fighting, Long Qingxie said with a smile. It seems that the talent is good, but you are far from it. Evil spirit's smile spills over the corner of his mouth. Long Qingxie suddenly stands up and walks towards the person in front of him. The more you go forward, the more the invisible pressure from the dragon's evil spirit makes the people around you tremble and almost lose their stability. These people are sweating. How did they ever think that they were provoked by such a terrible role? And the man in front of him just sneered, with an épée in his hand, and ran directly in the direction of the dragon. Not far away, the two forces almost collided. The wind of the 2 épée swords made the people around them squint. Before Long Qingxie rushed out of the room, the man had arrived. 2 épée swords collided and made a loud noise. Suddenly, the thatched cottage around him had been smashed by the force. Few people can bear the strike of dragon's evil, but the man in front of him, although he has stepped back more than 10 steps, and the corner of his mouth has shed blood, still stands there, which makes dragon's evil eyes shine. Carrying the épée on his shoulder, Long Qingxie picked the eyebrow and laughed. Not bad. Cough. The man coughed violently twice, wiped off the blood from the corner of his mouth, his eyes were full of vigilance and anger, and said angrily, "Who are you?" Name it in the papers in front of him. Long Qingxie put away his weapon, sighed, hooked his hand to the man, and said coldly, "You are not worth my name." Obviously, the man frowned and looked impatient. However, he didn't make a sound, because he knew that he had suffered a certain degree of internal injury by the blow he had just made, and this man didn't even play his 30% power. "I'm Chong Guangji," the man said in a deep voice. In fact, he is not very happy to tell his name to the man in front of him, but he is too strong. After all, he is still the leader of a team. If he annoys this person, I'm afraid that his life will not be easy in the future. Even if he doesn't think about himself, he should also think about many brothers behind him. Long Qingxie nodded, turned around and walked towards the stockade behind him. But he found that the thatched cottage behind him had been destroyed for some reason. He shrugged and looked at Chong Guangji. "Are you their leader?" Chong Guangji sighed, turned his head and told the people around him to find some straw to mend the stockade. Then he went to Long Qingxie's side and said, "It's just me. I just don't know what this great Xia has to teach you. Just in a bad mood." Long Qingxie frowned and looked around. I saw people standing all around him, looking at him in horror. Everywhere I could see, there was a shiver. It seemed that the feeling I was showing now was a little frightening. Listen to the answer of Long Qingxie. Chong Guangji can't help but draw. In a bad mood? That's why we're going to deal with his people? It's not a bandit. What is it? But he could not make complaints about it. He could only look at the long, cold and handsome face and tucking up his face in the heart, but what he did not dare to reveal on the surface. After Long Qingxia looked at him for a while, he turned his head and looked at Chong Guangji again. Do you usually rob your family? Chong Guangji sipped his mouth and thought, nonsense, we are the leaders here. We are bandits obviously. Do you want to rob the rich and help the poor if you don't rob the families and houses? Chong Guangji was silent for a while and nodded silently. It's hopeless. Long Qingxia frowned more tightly, and the irony in his eyes made Chong Guangji and others very unhappy. We rob houses and families, and we also protect the safety of local people. If you don't believe it. Chong Guangji wanted to say something else, but he saw Long Qingxia turn his head and hook his fingers to a bruised man around him to let him come. The man was very embarrassed. He bowed his head. His dark face was red, like a hot iron pot. He scratched his head and didn't dare to say anything. Chong Guangji now understood that he was angry. He suddenly stepped forward and kicked the man to the ground. All of a sudden, the man cried out and fell on the ground for a long time. Chong Guangji pointed to the big man's nose and said, I don't know what it's for to raise you people every day. Let you rob that rich man, not let you oppress those ordinary people. You. All right. Long Qingxia waved his hand and went to Chong Guangji. He patted Chong Guangji on the shoulder and said, I just want to say that now I'm going to take over your village. From then on, you call me boss. Before he finished speaking, Chong Guangji's face suddenly changed color. He suddenly raised his hand to open Long Qingxi's hand and said angrily, You are shameless. Whose stockade do you want to collect? Looking at the annoyed people around him, Long Qingxia nodded, suddenly raised his feet and swept in the direction of several people around him. Those people were startled and fled, but the dragon's action was too fast. Almost instantly, 3 people had been overturned on the ground. Before a few people could get up, the foot of Dragon Qingxia had stepped down. In an instant, 3 people were lying on the ground, unconscious. I want the stockade today. You can make your own choice, either be like them or follow my orders. Long Qingxia looked around and said with a smile, I'll give you time to burn incense. If there is no result, I'll solve the problem in the second way. Long Qingxia turned and walked out of the courtyard. He squeezed his fists as hard as he could. The creaking sound made everyone shiver. Chong Guangji and others, looking at the back of Long Qingxia turning away, silently stand in the courtyard of the stockade, with their heads down, have not yet reflected what happened. At this time, a big man with a bruised face came forward and said, Boss, we are wrong. We just want to go to the restaurant to get a drink. Who would have thought that we would meet such a cruel character? What should we do now? Chong Guangji gritted his teeth, turned his head and gave the man a punch. He said angrily, What are you doing now? He bowed his head and thought carefully. He didn't know what to do. Or we'll fight him? A man nearby suggested, It's dusk now. All the people in the stockade will come back soon. At least there are 20 or 30 people. I think, how can we fight with that man? Chong Guangji turns his head and looks at him like an idiot. After a long time, he sighed, This man, at least in the later period of Emperor Wuzong, maybe even Emperor Wudi or higher. We, even if we bring 110 people, are not enough to fight him. After touching his chest, Chong Guangji sighed. I'm afraid he didn't even use 30% of his strength just now, but I've suffered internal injury. If it wasn't for my forced stop, I would have fallen to the ground at that time. When people around them heard this, they were all silent. For a moment, the atmosphere in the stockade was very heavy. After a while, the boar dragon came in and looked at the group of people in front of him with a smile. How are you? What are you thinking about? But in front of a group of people who did not speak, just standing quietly, face ugly terrible. It seems that you have decided to disappear into the world from now on? Long Qingxia bowed his head and gave a light smile. He suddenly sacrificed the épée. The huge edge of the sword startled everyone. Chongguang rushed forward to block the crowd and said, Great Xia, you can't. Long Qingxia stopped and turned to look at Chong Guangji. There are any last words to say? Don't worry, I will tell your family. Chong Guangji finally sighed, then fell to his knees with a plop, and said in a deep voice, "Boss." People around were stunned and fell to their knees one after another. But Long Qingxie laughed. He put his épée on the ground and stretched out his hand. Chong Guangji raised his head and looked at the hand. He couldn't tell what it was like, but he took the hand silently and stood up. "I just don't know what the boss wants us to do." Long Qingxie touched his chin, bowed his head and remained silent for a while, and said, "Let's help me find someone." Looking for someone? Chong Guangji opened his mouth and stammered for a long time, but he didn't dare to break out, "No, boss, you've worked so hard to let us find someone for you?" Dragon Qing evil pick eyebrows, eyes slightly turned, gently glanced at the eye Chong Guangji. "So what?" Chong Guangji's face turned red and he didn't know how to continue. In the evening, Chong Guangji will come back to everyone gathered in the stockade. Cough. Chong Guangji coughed twice. Everyone in front of him looks at Long Qingxie whispering. However, Long Qingxie sits on one side of the stool, lowers his head and touches his fingers, and turns a deaf ear to everyone's comments in front of him. Well, everyone be quiet. Chong Guangji glanced at Long Qingxie with Yu Guang, and saw that Long Qingxie still didn't respond. Then he said, "From today on, our Chongguang regiment has an arduous task to assign to you. Please pay attention to it." As soon as they heard that there was an important task, they all stopped talking and quietly listened to Chong Guangji in front of them. "Well, the one sitting on my right is, yes, the new boss of our Chongguang group." Then he turned his head and looked at the dragon. He coughed awkwardly. "That, boss, how about you?" Long Qingxie impatiently clenched his fist, scared Chong Guangji to turn his head, and took out the portrait of Long Qingxie from his arms. "Now, we're going to search for these people in the whole city. If we find them, please let them come to our Chongguang regiment base as soon as possible. There's a big reward here." The side head looks at the dragon again. The dragon opens his fingers and continues to look at his fingers. Then he breathes and distributes the paper in his hand. On the drawing paper, there are 7 people, namely Shangguan, Mu Xiuming, Nanganji, Sidalan, Meng Bai, Qi Yi's and Yunmo. "Boss, 7? Let's go and find out?" Someone protested. "Well, we are such a powerful team, how can we because of these little things?" "What a trifle!" Chong Guangji's face was pale, and he was afraid. He turned to look at Long Qingxie, swallowed his saliva, and scolded angrily, "What's the new boss saying?" People are full of complaints, but looking at Chong Guangji, they are so afraid of this unknown person in front of them, and it's hard to continue to say anything. Seeing that the order was almost finished, Long Qingxie stood up and walked out. "I will come again tomorrow night. I hope to see your ability." All of a sudden he said, "You'd better ask me quietly. Don't let the wind out to the beast gate, otherwise, I'll take all your lives." Looking at Long Qingxie's back disappearing at the gate of the courtyard, Chong Guangji finally breathed out, sat down on the ground and murmured, "It's strange to recognize a boss. I don't know what his name is or what he looks like." In the early morning of the next day, all the people were called out by Chong Guangji and drove out of the stockade to look for the 6 people on the picture in the whole city. Standing on the street full of people, Chong Guangji suddenly realized that the people who made a big disturbance in the stockade last night might not be simple, because on the reward notice, he saw the wanted notices for the 7 people Long Qingxie. Instantly, his face turned pale. He could not help muttering to himself, and his hands began to shake. "I'm just an ordinary citizen in the upper world. I didn't expect to be involved in this terrible thing. What should I do?" Looking at the price of the reward on the reward order, Chong Guangji turned pale with fright. In the street, the men of 10,000 beasts came and went. Chong Guangji was so scared that he lowered his head, put the paper in his arms, and walked forward quickly. Aimless search. Long Qingxie is still wearing a hat, sitting in the inn, watching the countless people coming and going from the beast gate below, and the people of Chongguang group walking on the road. With a slight frown, Long Qingxie turns his head and glimpses the portraits of the 8 people on the wanted warrant. He hesitates in his heart whether he is right in doing so. but suddenly saw Chang Guangji head down, carrying the painting paper in his arms, like protecting some treasures, mouth slightly raised. One day, nothing happened. When Chang Guangji looked at the terrible figure in the hat appeared at the door again, he almost peed his pants. Old. Chang Guangji's expression now felt that he was about to cry, but he still managed to laugh. Now, he really wanted to apologize for the collision last night. He was afraid that if the master was upset and killed himself, it would be too late to cry. How's it going? Long Qingxie didn't look at him. He was wearing a hat, and his whole body was buried in the shadow. But now, why is Long Qingxie so terrible? That. Chang Guangji was sweating. He touched his forehead, but he felt a damp and cool air. A cold wind came and his back was cool. Not found? Long Qingxie walked straight past the crowd and sat on the stool. With the hat slightly raised, Chong Guangji and others shrunk their heads. Obviously, everyone already knew the identity of the person in front of them. Well, these adults may. Chong Guangji stands in front of Long Qingxie and feels that the strong pressure makes him kneel down. He wants to cry very much. Don't worry. Dragon Qing Evil Light said, "You do well." Then he stood up and walked out. I hope you don't try to make me unhappy. Gradually disappeared into the night. Chong Guangji took a long breath and turned to look at the brothers around him. He was a little embarrassed, but when he saw the people around him, he also took a breath. Brothers. Chong Guangji gave a bitter smile. We seem to have provoked some extraordinary people. There was silence. The moon is like water. It's a little cold when it comes to people. Long Qingxie stands in the moonlight and looks down. The stockade is on a small mountain. You can see the city with fireworks below. You sigh, then you look down with a sneer and suddenly leap down. Of course, Long Qingxie also knew that he could not completely rely on them, so he continued to walk around the city with his hat. But aimlessly for a few days, there was still no progress, which made him a little frustrated. Long Qingxie walked towards the remote part of the town, hoping to find something here. Around the town are some simple small villages. The more you go eastward, the more you can see the low houses and lush trees in front of you. It seems that the air in the town is a little fresher and cooler than that in the city. He thought, maybe everyone has seen the wanted order on the wanted list in the city, so it is hidden in the most remote part of the city. Perhaps, around the city, people are still very simple, there is no bad idea. So Long Qingxie went on. Through a path filled with yellow sand, Long Qingxie finally came to the first village. It seems that the village is not big, and there should be only about a dozen families. He suddenly thought that he heard in the inn a few days ago that a man had fallen from his family and smashed the roof of his house. He suddenly thought that everyone would be so shocking to appear in some place. I can't help but feel nervous in my heart. I'm afraid that if the people of the Beast Gate know this, they will be arrested. When walking into this village, Long Qingxie only saw a few old people sitting under the eaves in the sun, and a few cats lazily looking at Long Qingxie. It seemed that they suddenly found that they were not people in the village. They immediately raised their hair on their necks, yelled at Long Qingxie and rushed into a villager's home. After a while, I finally saw a young man come out of a small yard. He looked at the dragon and was stunned. After a long time, the young man turned and rushed back to the room. The whole village came out. All the people gathered in front of the mysterious man wearing a bamboo hat, with all kinds of knives, guns, sticks, and other people holding pots and pans. Who are you? A slightly older man asked, holding the fork in his hand, his eyes full of vigilance. Long Qingxie looks at the village, but a woman in front of him suddenly raises her hand and grabs his hat. A flash of anger hit the dragon's evil brain. He raised his hand to grasp the woman's hand, frowned. What do you want to do? As soon as the people around him heard this person's voice so cold, he was still angry, and he also grasped the woman's hand, and instantly became angry. A man with a pot smashed at the dragon's evil face. Dragon Qing Evil Eyebrow Micro Siu, side head avoid, light way, I just come to look for a person. Looking for someone? Several men looked at each other, but they were still very alert. Who are you looking for? Who the hell are you? Open your hat and let's have a look. Long Qingxie chuckled, but in the hat's face, it was full of indifference, no extra feelings. I'm just looking for someone. You say there is no, who I am and what relationship you have. The words made everyone more angry, and immediately surrounded the dragon more tightly. It's not good for you to know who I am. He unconsciously pulled the edge of the hat and said in a deep voice, I just want to ask you if anyone suddenly landed in your village. If so, please show me that person. Obviously, many people's faces in the crowd suddenly changed. Their eyes looked at the dragon in front of them and asked, Who are you? It's obvious that there is. Long Qingxie hooked the corner of his mouth and pushed away the crowd to walk inside. But the villagers around him surrounded him. You must not go. Or you dare to enter our village at will some people angrily scold and run towards the dragon. Long Qingxie is anxious to see his friend, but he really doesn't want to hurt the innocent, so he has to give way. However, these people still refuse to let him go and continue to attack Long Qingxie. But in the eyes of Long Qingxie, their attack was not as good as the minions around Chongguangji. He had to give way again. At this time, Long Qingxie suddenly saw that a man came out of a hut in the village. The man looked out twice and went in again. After a while, the man came out again, but he didn't come out, but leaped out toward the direction of Dragon's Evil, holding a long sword in his hand, stabbing at Dragon's Evil. Long Qingxie grins. It's Meng Bai. All of a sudden, he envelopes his whole body with black fighting spirit. The terrible pressure on Long Qingxie makes the villagers around him pale and almost suffocate, but Meng Bai, not far away, stops walking. The surprise in his eyes makes him seem to be shining. Long Qingxie, he exclaimed in surprise, which surprised the villagers around him. Do you know each other? Long Qingxie still didn't take off his hat, but Meng Bai also knew that he was very happy now. He turned to the people around him and said, Everyone, thank you, but this man is my friend. You can rest assured that he won't be a threat to me. You'd better let him in. I have to have a good chat with him. People finally suddenly, so it is, at this time we finally embarrassed smile, in front of the dragon Qingxie a strong apology. Long Qingxie doesn't care. He cares more about why Meng Bai hasn't appeared after disappearing for so long. What makes him care more is that Meng Bai's body is obviously injured, and the villagers' reaction is too big. Long Qingxie was introduced into the villager's house where he had been staying. The villager poured tea for them. Then he said with a simple and honest smile that you talked and walked out of the room. Without saying a word, Long Qingxie stretched out his hand to Meng Bai's wrist and frowned slightly. Was it the injury caused by the destruction of the transmission array at that time? Meng Bai pursed his lips and said bitterly, After being washed away that day, I met the pursuers of one woman on the road. Most of these people were in the same level as me. I was besieged and ran away with difficulty. It seemed that they had some important task at that time. After they hurt me, they didn't continue to chase me. But these days, I am here. The heart heals while listening. Long Qingxie nodded, took back his hand, drank a cup of tea and said, We need to find the rest as soon as possible, otherwise there will be more danger in one more day. Meng Bai stood up with a smile and said, Let's go now. After all, my injuries are almost the same. It's safe for two people to be together. Join them as soon as possible. I think they should also be hidden in some remote places. Long Qingxie also thought it was reasonable. He nodded and said, I heard in the day before yesterday that some people seem to have fallen from their families. Maybe they were people we knew. We might as well have a good look in this village now. When we find them, we'll go to the city to have a look. Meng Bai nodded and agreed. After their discussion, they felt that since they wanted to leave, it was better not to disturb anyone. But after all, Meng Bai had lived here for such a long time, so they discussed with each other, and then simply left silver for the master in the room, and then left in a hurry. On the other hand, Chongguangji is thinking of infinite possibilities. He looked up at the brothel in front of him, very strange and tangled, and looked down at the two girls who were very beautiful on the drawing paper. Xindao, maybe this is the safest place. Scratch your head and look left and right. After all, You are so old that you have never entered the brothel. If you go in this way in my heart, I gasped for myself, gritted my teeth and stamped my feet, and walked towards the brothel. As soon as you enter the brothel, you can see all kinds of powder and fat in your face. When you go to Chongguang, your face turns red. Looking at the enchanting beauties in front of you, you can quickly avoid your sight, but there are more beauties everywhere. How can I find it? Chong Guangji found that he really found a good place for himself. I smile bitterly in my heart. I think about the people on the paper carefully in my heart. Then I look at them one by one on the faces of these women. From the first floor to the fourth floor, his eyes were dazzled, and there were countless women's hands touching him intentionally or unintentionally. He looked at him like a flower, which made him unable to control. He coughed twice and came out in a hurry. As soon as I got to the door, I suddenly saw a man coming. This man is not very tall. He is a head shorter than Chong Guangji. With a cold face, he doesn't say a word and doesn't see much at a glance, and goes straight into the brothel. But Chong Guangji looked at him more, because he felt that the man looked too much like the one in the picture, that woman. Being puzzled by his own inexplicable thoughts, Chong Guangji was very helpless. He shook his head and went out. But just at this time, a small team of 10,000 beasts suddenly rushed in. Nobody move. Although they are not strong enough, they have unlimited deterrent power among these ordinary people with the name of the Beast Gate. Everyone knows the evil name of the Beast Gate, so they dare not provoke. As soon as the team entered the brothel, people in the brothel screamed, "All shut up!" The leader gave a cold drink, and all the people in the brothel were scared and didn't dare to say a word more. Everybody listen to me. I believe everyone knows that there is an order to look for people. Those people who have been wanted recently, if you see them, you'd better give them an explanation and reward them. If not, then give me more attention. Did you hear that? Listen, I heard. The women trembled and said. Until this time, the leader of the Beast Gate finally nodded with satisfaction, turned to the people behind him and said, "Go, one by one, look carefully for me." Yes, after that, the people in black who were standing behind the leader came out one after another and got into the crowd. They were looking for people one by one. As like as two peas in the heart of the Sogan, he stood up on tiptoe and looked at the drawing paper in the hand of the man. He opened his eyes in astonishment, exactly the same as the portrait in his hand. He bowed his head and pondered for a moment, then suddenly lowered his head and went into the brothel. Excuse me, excuse me. Chong Guangji lowered his head and felt guilty. The person who went in just now should be the woman. That's right, or maybe he was wrong. But since the people of the Beast Gate came to find someone, it means that they must have seen something. With that in mind, Chongguang rushed in. He rushed to the front of the Beast Gate and took the lead to the second floor, because when he went out, he saw the man walking towards the second floor. He rushed to the second floor, his face pale. He never dared to provoke the people of the Beast Gate, but now he was afraid to fight against the people of the Beast Gate. Looking around, I didn't see the people of the Beast Gate. Then I vomited and went on. Looking at the closed rooms in front of him, he didn't know what to do. Although from his own point of view, at least ordinary people can't fight with him, he was afraid of meeting some terrible people. But what else could he do? He was more willing to help the mysterious man who had never seen his face. They are tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.